so heavy and dry. Strange voices are saying things I can't. So heavy. Leaving me here on my own, it's a cruel summer. Now you've gone.
Yo! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Contemplation at its freaking finest. I'm telling you, you got to go over there and check that out. It's incredible. It's incredible. Think of it. But make sure you just check it out. Give us a follow if you can. During some of our upcoming streams, we're actually doing some giveaways. Put a couple bucks in your pocket, so you don't want to miss that. Also, immediately following this space tonight, there will be a subscribers only after space. Subscriptions are in the bio, 99 cents a month. Subscription heard around the world, cheaper than a cup of coffee. Wake you up a whole lot faster. Speaking of speed, before we go full throttle with my girl, tap that Prince button. What I like to call the Prince button, the purple pill. Whatever you call it, I don't care. Repost, flood the comments. Savvy, maybe pull a couple of your hot live takes and read them out loud with that oh so lovely Georgia accent. It's adorable. And as always, salute though to my boys, William Shatner, Sylvester Stallone, and Tom Cruise are in the tunnels listening as they always do. Thanks, guys. But now it's time to up the ante because it ain't just my mic. Right beside me on the stage here, the Savage Storm, the political powerhouse, my cousin, my fam, my equal with an edge, Tiffany Savage.
You couldn't tell. They say teamwork makes a dream.
Well, I guess I had some help. I guess that would be the.
And she's gone.
I know, that's the beauty. I guess I said I needed some help. There she is, just right on top, right at the end of the song. See, there it is. Piece of cake. That's how we do it. But that's how fam does it, right? It's all about that timing. So let's go ahead and check in with my girl, the real political savvy. What's up, Sav? How are you?
What's up, cuz? Yes, you are catching me. I had to drop my mini off at church. So, and for some reason, I always have the worst connection right around this area. So I apologize. If I drop off, I will come back. It's just a little, I don't know. X is giving me some headaches today. I don't know if you heard any of this.
I did hear it all. We were all just listening with bated breath. So
with bated breath. Awesome.
Yeah, something like that.
Yay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I like it. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. I actually want to talk to you about something coming up before we get started. Let me check in with let me ask a couple people here to see if I don't know what Barbie's doing right now. Barbie, you around? What you doing, Barbie? What you doing? What you doing? She's not around. Is she around? Is she around? Is she around? Is she around? That's the question right there. Think of it. Looks like she's having connection issues. I
lit her up. Oh, is she too? Yeah.
I had connection issues. I started the thing 3 times. Had to reconnect 3 different times to be able to make this connection. I was like the only one.
Well, yeah, I texted you because when I texted you, I sent you a screenshot, and I'm like, why is this space black? I mean, you couldn't see anything. So I figured there was some shenanigans afoot.
Yeah, I think an update like just came out like a handful of hours ago, so it's pretty fresh, I believe. Anyway,
I'm gonna just toss Barbie something real fast. I'm not sure. She's
perhaps they can update the subscriber model.
It could be. I mean that. Yeah, maybe they could just do a complete reboot of the spot. I don't know. Maybe they could just look at this as something to that ought to be prioritized. Just throwing it out there. You never know. Look at my boy Kevin Smith.
I doubt it very much.
Kevin Smith can make it happen. Kevin Smith can make anything happen, baby. So I know if Kevin Smith puts his mind to something, Savvy, tell me. You know he'll make it go, right? Savvy's out.
Well, I've been trying to hit 50. I've been trying to hit 50,000 followers for the last like 6 months. So apparently, I can't do everything. I hate unrounded numbers.
Well, you can't. Jamie can't get a couple of her friends and maybe make that happen for you, or what?
I'm like,
I got you stuck, Kevin.
From shameless plugs,
bro.
It's like you're stuck, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Me too.
I'm not one of these like oh, my follower, but like because I'm on the other side of like the round number, I'm annoyed.
Mine's been stuck on quite a while, but on the same thing for quite a while. I don't know what's going on with that. And I'm just thinking that, my mom said I was a really good person and said I was handsome and charming. I don't know. Maybe it's just not the case. I don't know. Maybe it was all a lie. Doesn't matter.
37.2, Mike. 37.2. I ain't even got to look. I think they're botting us, and like it gives some and then takes some. Like daily.
I like it when they give. I like when I get, but I don't have to give. That's kind of the.
What happened to all those German porn bots? Where are they?
I don't know, man. About a year and a half ago, it was the Japanese. They were the one flooding the DMs.
I miss having like Swedish fake porn stars sell me NFTs.
They're like, Kevin, you're so sexy. Now. Please buy this NFT.
By the way, I still don't know what an NFT is.
Don't have to. You just got to buy it. That's how it works. You don't know. You don't have to know what it is, bro. It's like the rest of crypto. You just buy it. That's it.
Nuclear FUBAR Talinsky,
Non-fungible
non-fungible token. I'm kidding.
That's correct. Yeah, now he knows. Thank you.
NFTs are
Now
like,
Kevin knows exactly what it is. There you go, Kevin. See, so now
NFTs are like working for Chorus. You just don't talk about
that's
it.
correct. That's correct. All right, before we get started, let me check in with my other co-host for tonight, the great Insurrection Barbie, the black and white beauty. What is going on? Barbie, how are you?
Hi guys, I'm good. Can you hear me? Let's start with that.
Oh no, I'm having
Can you hear me?
flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks to
God.
old Barbie.
Can you hear me
Shane? Oh, there it is. Oh my God.
Her.
Almost-
I'm gonna give her PTSD, and I'm gonna
already
have to
have
like be her
PTSD.
emotional support dog.
Dude, not only does Barbie have PTSD from the old days, she gave a lot of us PTSD too from the underwater mics.
Dude, I'm telling you, I have the worst luck. I have like a brand new like whatever the Apple whatever the
Sound
thing is,
perfect
the headset.
now.
Yeah, it sounds great now.
Well, yeah, because I took off my headset, so I'm sure I sound great.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I would love to be able to use my headset. Apparently, it's never going to happen. So, okay, that's fine.
But it sounds really. Look, you may not look good, it may not look cool without them, but you sound good though. That's really what's the most important thing. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, what I want to know is why in the world haven't I had the opportunity and privilege and honor of playing Barbie Girl on drums for Insurrection Barbie? I didn't even think about that. What the crap is happening there?
I don't know, but I think that's going to kick off your next live stream. The worst drummer on X, somehow or another, he's actually pretty freaking talented. I don't know how he got to do that, but Chavez can play freaking anything. It's damn weird. It's weird. I don't even understand how you do it, brother, but you're a talented cat. So I will give you that.
Can you do breakfast at Tiffany's too?
Oh, breakfast. That's
I
going to
don't
be
know if that has a super awesome
Sure thing.
drum beat, but still, I mean, come on.
Well,
yeah, I played Baby Shark last week. That was fun. I do Disney theme music songs. I mean, anything you want. Prog metal, jazz, fusion, anytime, limited time.
everybody, that's what we're going to do. Chavez, when your next live stream comes, we're all going to go in there and we're all going to flood your stuff and request all kinds of great songs. So make a note of that. Put up in the nest early in a little while. Let us know the next time you're going to do it. We're going to go in there. We're all going to be like, can you play Barbie doll and freaking Tiffany, breakfast at Tiffany, all this gay stuff? So it'd be great. Kevin will love it. He loves those kind of songs. It makes him feel like a man. Speaking of men,
Yo, you play any like bed 90s sing along like Sister Hazel or Blues Traveler? I'll lose my shit.
Kevin, put on your seatbelt. God, the dinging is killing me.
That's the only thing I won't put on.
put it on.
Okay, well, click it behind you then. Like, do something.
You kids in your seatbelts these days,
Hey.
you know?
Hey, guys, what do you call that thing that you change the channel with on your TV?
The child.
A channel changer.
It's
a
remote.
channel changer. He's trying to make fun of me. No, it is not.
Groke. What is it?
Groke. Oh no, don't do that, Kevin. No, bro.
It's Groke, and we don't talk. We don't talk about Groke in this space. Okay, if you mention him again, you're out of here.
It's too
Why?
early. It's
Why?
too
We
early for the
can't-
Groke.
If you know, you know. It's too early for the Groke.
You can't pre-program your own Groke to give you the answers you want.
No, she can't even make her freaking microphone sound good. She got to get into a good area, which I believe she's going to because I believe in her and she's got good blood. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm trying, and I'm in my. Yes, I am trying. I'm trying to get home as soon as possible. Like I said, I dropped Minnie off at church, and I have to top off the Jeep, so it's a little windy. So there's that. But I will be home in T-minus 8 minutes.
No, there you go. Let me get to a couple. I want to just get to a check in with a couple people, and I know the rest of them are going to be hands, so I'll get to them in a minute. But I want to check with my boy Hitchlap, see if he's around. He doesn't have much time. Sometimes he's always working, man, crazy worker, always working. Best space host around. It pains me to say it, even though the ego wants to jump in there. You're not even like in the top 5. Shut up. That's not the point. It's association.
He's laughing at you.
I know he is. He laughs at everybody who makes that comment. It's okay. Hitch slap, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you, brother? What's going on?
Hello, Mike Mac, Interaction Barbie, Real, everybody else. Hope you guys are doing well. Bromance level 1000, Mike Mac. Don't worry. Don't believe what anyone says. It always will be. Let's go. Thanks for having me. Yeah, just want to pop in and say hello. You always have great space.
Can I give you your theme music real quick?
Please.
There you go, Hitch. You got your own soundtrack, baby.
Let's go. Let's go.
Gotcha. Say there you go.
Listen, I feel absolutely privileged to have my own theme music. It's an absolute pleasure. I'll have to sort something out when you join next time on my space. But no, thanks for having me. I'm definitely in the top 100 hosts on X, probably around 79th or something like that. But I'm working my way up. I'm chasing you, Diligent and Preston, and the other legends. So, yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's doing good. It's in the morning. I did a good post about a vegetarian. I was on Mandy in the morning telling her about it. It warms my heart. I wish I could do a Donald Trump impression. Warms my heart. It's so good.
Warms my heart. It's so good. Think of it, Hitch. You warm my heart. Everybody warms my heart. Quite frankly, it's incredible.
People, I'm not like trying to direct traffic to me or anything, but if people really want to see it go on my timeline, it's a vegetarian woman. She's got a nose ring, one of those ugly ones in the middle, and she's trying a steak for the first time. And she's
saw that. I haven't had a chance to open it. I haven't had a chance to click it. Spoil it for us. What does she do?
Well, she's very worried. She's got this steak, and she's always used to cooking them for her husband or boyfriend. And she says, I'm a vegetarian. I'm trying it for the first time, and I did it well done. And she cuts into it. I swear it's medium rare or like medium at most. So, poor vegetarian, she doesn't know what well done means, which is good because you should never have your steak well done. And then she takes a bite as if she's like thinking it's going to be horrible. And you just see, there's so many adjectives I could use or analogies, but it's a PG show, so I won't use any of them. I'll just say this look comes upon her face of great joy and pleasure as she tastes the first bite. And then the more she eats it, the more her face lights up. We all know when, girls' faces sometimes light up, when certain things happen. Maybe they get a new handbag or other things.
Or some Jimmy Choos, right?
Yes, or other things, yes, shoes. And her whole face lights up, and then she finishes all the steak, and she gives it a 10 out of 10, and you can tell she will never go back. You can feel the B12 vitamins entering her system, so to speak. So it's absolutely epic. Another vegan converted. Let's go. Only a few more 100,000 to go.
Did you say the steak was medium rare or what? How was it cooked?
She claims that she cooked it well done, and the camera's not zoomed in very close, so it's hard to see. But she said, I aimed for well done. But
she's aiming for well done because that's what she thinks a good steak is. This is really well done.
Well, I think it's because of the blood, right? Like a lot of women don't like they're put off by like what they think is the blood. It's not actually the blood. The steak's been drained. It's a chemical compound. I forget off the top of my head. But she tries to do it well done according to her. And at best it's medium. To me, it looks like just under medium, like maybe even medium rare. But no, it's juicy. You can tell it's still very moist and tender. And it just like melts in her mouth. You can tell she's got this look on her face. So that's what we need. We need to just get these vegans, hold them down, and shove a big fat juicy eye fillet or filet mignon, what you guys call it, into their mouth. And once they taste it, they will never go back. That's what they need. With consent, of course.
Of course. Well, not in all states, but for the most part, most of the the lower 50. Yeah.
Correct. Can I put a fat juicy steak in your mouth, and then once they taste it, they'll never go back?
Correct. It's probably best to just write it down on a piece of paper and then hand it to them, and then just let them go with it. Not probably even. I don't even know if verbal is going to be really the way you want to go about it.
I'm thinking about an app, like a consent app. You both get the app,
it's not
and
bad.
then do you consent to vegans?
There you
do
go. They could
consent to
scan
me
maybe a
putting-
QR code or something like
Yeah.
that. Just think about it. I'll be here. Walk down the
Correct.
street, do what you got to do. And if you decide you come back, we'll shove it down your throat.
And most
I would be a new vegan every night. Every night I'd sign up again. I'm a reborn vegan.
I'm a vegan. Can I try?
Yeah, it's a good tactic. It
That
reminds me
is.
of Parks and Recreation. There's the guy, the main guy with the mustache, the legend. He's a big steak eater, and he goes to like, it looks like Costco or Home Depot or something, and they've got like a vegan bacon, and he goes, "May I have one?" And then the guy gives him one, and he throws it in the bin, and then he says, "May I have another?" And it gives him another piece of vegan bacon, and he just keeps throwing them in the bin. We need one of those, but the opposite. We need a stall. If you're a vegetarian, you sign the consent form, and we will give you some meat in your mouth.
There we go. There's just so many options, and there's so many and so many metaphors in this conversation. It's impressive, like really across the board. So, but that's what you get when you bring a high IQ guy up on stage.
Well,
Right,
I am
right,
Italian. You know, any time you're around Italian, there's going to be a lot of hands waving around. There's going to be a lot of yappa, 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 and there's going to be talk of fat, juicy steaks.
That's correct. I love it. I love it. Make sure you give Hitch a follow. He'll talk steaks and IQ to you all freaking day. Also, give his community a follow, the Hitch Slap University. He responds to everything. And also go online and give him a follow and a subscribe, because his after spaces are longer than most people's spaces. So you want to definitely do that. One of the best in the biz, Hitch. If you got anything else you want to say, you want to throw in at us, want to promote anything, or what you
No,
got?
every Tuesday spaces for beginners, every Saturday 20-minute space. Spoiler alert, it goes for 7 hours, not 20 minutes. And first Tuesday of every month we do a subscriber super space, which goes for not 3, not 4, but 5 full hours.
It's ridiculous. It's
First
ridiculous, I
Tuesday
tell
of
you.
every month.
It's nobody can do that. It'd be like forcing someone to hang around Jennifer Lawrence for that long. There's just nobody should have to do it. Nobody should do it. Nobody can truly do it.
How
You know
bad
what I'm
do you want
saying?
to do it? How bad do you want to do it?
You don't. You don't. Like, that's the whole key. It's something that you have
Well,
to
I'm
force
very
yourself.
lucky. I'm very lucky. I've got very good subscribers. We have a lot of fun in there. It's very chill. We were talking about seed oil. We were talking about how to cook a steak, and we were talking about health and nutrition and just general stuff. So it was a lot of fun. The 5 hours flies by. Time flies when you're having fun.
Time does fly when you're having fun. Well, I'm looking forward to. I can tell you this. I woke up last Saturday, and when I wake up on Saturdays and I don't have a Hitch space to go to, bro, I'm gonna tell you, breaks my heart. Well,
I had to take a week off. Had a bit of drama. If you know, but the drama's been sorted, I hope, and we are back to normal, back on schedule.
Sweet. That's what I'm talking about. So then we will definitely see you and listen to you next Saturday for sure. Correct? Correct. Don't even respond. Just it's a given. Just let people have hope. That's all I'm asking.
Let's go.
Let's go
this Saturday.
Let's do it. Appreciate that, brother. Hey, let me before, and Hitch, by the way, just jump in anytime, brother. This is mi spesa y su spesa. A lot of people know that. It's a Spanish thing for spaces. Yeah. So Shane's half Spanish. He knows. He recognized that the way I said that. It made him feel like he was a little family. Well, sound like my family. Yeah. Oh, Shane, he's so cute down there with his little half Mexican side. But I want to rag her real quick before we kind of get going. But I want to give a shout out to what did I say her name was earlier? I don't want to have to click on her profile. If you're Lawrence or something, Larry, Jenny, Larry, Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence. That was exactly what it was. She's with that American Mission crew or something like that. Jen, you near a mic or what's up?
I'm here, Mike. That was quite the intro.
Well, I'm a giver. You know this. How are you?
Oh, yeah.
How are you and Dust? How's the fam? How's everything going?
Fabulous. Everything's good. How have you been?
Everything's smooth. I'm not going to bring up the fact you said you're going to be here last week. That's okay. Just going to let that sit there for one little second. Yeah.
I mean,
No,
let's
that's fine.
not
That was long
mention the
enough.
fact that you asked me to co-host and then I couldn't answer right away, and then you replaced me right away.
That's correct.
So, yeah,
That's
there's
correct.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, well, you know, I don't know what to tell you. That was just like, it's got to be like this, Jen. It's moving. This whole thing's moving. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, so when you say jump, I say how high kind of thing.
Or make a sandwich. That's exactly, there you go. That's, see, now we're starting to pick it up. Now we're getting it. Dust teller. Dustin, you in the background? Bro, anyone?
Nah, he's busy.
Okay. Hey, hey, maybe tell him to come to Spaces every now and then, just kind of check in with us and let us know what's going on. Otherwise, you know, we call your mom and we call the whole family. We start doing a nationwide search for you guys again. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah, appreciate that. You know, the crypto world's got him.
It's had him for a long time. Poor kid.
Yeah.
That's all right. He'll be okay. It's good to see you, Jen, as always. And make sure you following Jen and everybody over at American Mission. Great people, great stuff. And I want to also want to check in with my girl Mandy. Some of y'all may recognize her. This might sound a little bit familiar to you. Something like this. Again, it says glowing when you're snoring, not blowing when you're snoring. It is not, that is not the actual lyrics. So I know a lot of people, it's a cult.
It
right?
did sound like that.
It does. Well, it's, you know, it's got its own following now. A lot of people, they just go on with it. You know how it is when you start it, when you write a song and people start rumors about it. It's happens to everybody all the time. It's crazy. It's a crazy world we're living in. The fact that she didn't come off mic, there might be something I could do to get her off mic.
Using both hands. That's so good. That's so. Have a grok morning, you guys.
Nothing, really? Huh. She must be out of range.
I'll get her.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I wasn't freaking out. She was on mute.
Yes, she's not on me. That's Mandy, if you love me, say have a grok morning. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if she loves me.
Have a grok morning, you guys.
Oh
Have a grok.
Okay, shut up. No, really, just shut
Oh my
up.
God.
Yeah. Don't ever give a boy a soundboard. Okay, I'm just saying. It's I've got dirt on every one of you. It's like I'm Batman. Just think of it.
I don't think you have one on me though. So suck.
Well, you just
sucker,
don't care.
suck it.
But I could
But no, I don't.
I could put Maze in the freaking grave with the sound clips I've got from her. All her little woo-woo spaces, you take them out of context. God, it's like she's a murderer. It's unbelievable.
Oh no.
I'm traveling.
Play one. I'm
I'm not going to do it right now. I'm because I got some other thing. We got to get going. We got to get the space going.
Mandy's coming. She's buying pumpkins right now. She's about to hop on. There she is.
See, that's so freaking Mandy, right? Mandy's buying pumpkins. It's so specific. Or is, yeah, Mandy.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Ran away.
Yeah, she didn't respond. I had to boot her.
It's like 2 months early.
Well, she's a
Thank you, Maze.
she's a little
Thank
rascal.
you for saying that because I was so mad the other day that people are like, we're putting up Christmas trees. I'm like, I'm sorry, repeat. No.
That was you, wasn't it, Mike Mac? That was you. I know it was you. I know it was you. Don't say it wasn't. My mic would not turn on. I know you're behind.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mandy.
Did you mute me? Did you mute me again?
Very glitchy.
It might have been. It wasn't a purposeful mute. It's just, it's a coyote mute. It's like you got, you know, it's like, you know how like sometimes you got to mute coyote and he may not even be speaking. He may not even be in the space. Sometimes you just got to mute coyote. It's just, you know, it's like too much information. It's just like it starts, you know how when he starts rolling, all of a sudden you realize you've been listening to him for like 45 minutes and you're like, damn, this is freaking weird. You just got to throw that mute. It's like that. It's like a random mute.
Just blame it on a glitch, Mike.
It's the mute
Everything's a
glitch.
glitch.
It's diligence double mute glitch. It's correct.
Michael?
Mike.
I'm going to fight you.
Okay.
I'll send you pictures of this pumpkin after we carve it. I'm doing this scary witch face, so it should look just like you.
Okay. Thank you, Mandy. It's always
Using both hands.
Thank you for coming up. It's good to see you. Yay, Mandy in the morning, guys. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Eastern until 2 o'clock Eastern. It is the newest, hottest, best morning show in the entire world. It is Mandy in the freaking morning. So make sure that you guys stop by there and show her some support. It's always a fun time. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to it because we got a little while, and then I want to figure out what's happening in the world today. I know I'm looking at the speaker panel right now. I see some Republicans, and I see some former Republicans, and I see some MAGA people, quite frankly, and then I see some used to be MAGA people. Yeah. So first of all, let me just start off because I want to go to, I don't know if Barbie is near her mic or Savvy is near her mic, but that's just a tease because
I am here and I am home and I have full Wi-Fi.
I was going to go to a man first. I'm sorry. I was letting y'all know that I wasn't going to come to y'all right away, but that's okay. I mean, anyway, Kevin. Did Kevin boot himself out of the room?
He did.
Good, because, well, I better not say anything if he's still a listener. Let's wait till he's completely out of the room.
I sent him another mic.
Mike, you're hilarious right now.
I was going to go to Kevin, and I was going to go to a man. All of a sudden, he's like, I don't have a man up here. I mean, I got Shane and Hitchlap and Coyote and Chavez, and but I mean, come on, let's be real. Talking about a man. Talking about a man's man, a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? Freaking Kevin, bastard. All right, let me go to my freaking co-host. Let me check in. Let me check in with my cuz first, then we go to Barbie. So the question that I have for you, cuz, is there is a lot of contradiction that's going on right now, and to the point where I know that a lot of people. I'll talk to people offline. They'll DM me and they'll say things like they're not in spaces. They're not paying attention to this stuff that much anymore. A lot of people are pissed off at the USA, like we're overstepping our bounds. Tariffs are quote unquote not working. There's Palantir's going to be taking all of our information and spying on us. So if you had to pick, is the USA more problem or more solution?
What? Solution? Are you kidding me?
I'm just asking. I'm asking.
Did you see what happened to the drug cartel boat the other day? Yeah. That wasn't, and people are like, oh, what law? What law did you use to make sure that was okay? Safeguarding Americans against drug cartels and illegal drugs? Yep. You know, and this whole Palantir thing, a lot of people don't know what it is. And except for, the vacuum on this platform. So I really don't think that's an issue either. What is really the problem is not the United States, but it is the Democrat Party and those that still will not let up and keep I mean, they were hoping for President Trump that he was dead this weekend because no one saw him because it was Labor Day weekend and he was playing golf or he was in a skiv working on this whole Venezuelan thing. Like, get over yourself. We are more powerful than we have been probably ever. And we have the respect of countries that laughed at us, the previous administration. That's a simple answer.
Okay, there's one in favor.
I'm actually going to add to what she said because I agree with her 100%. And I'm going to add one more thing, which, of course, I sadly have to go down this vein. But I listened to, I think this was like a CNN clip. I don't know. Somebody was talking about it on CNN. Somebody like conservative. I forgot who. But they were saying that the difference between whether America succeeds or fails is going to be whether people learn how to have some gratitude or not. Like, are they going to be grateful for all the great things that this country offers them? And are they going to take part in the process of making it better? Of enacting good policies, like all that really hard stuff that nobody wants to do, like the electing people from the bottom all the way to the top and being really attentive to what the hell is going on in your area, all the way up to the federal government and all of that stuff that's annoying. It's not like very fun. It's much funner to complain, I think, and easier, but that's harder. But Or we can just, complain and the world is ending, the sky is falling, and the country is going to hell. And then that's what's going to happen because you're going to make that a reality for yourself. So I don't know. That segment, I'm a big fan of the word gratitude. I feel like it's a life changing thing if you actually are grateful for all the things that you have, whatever they may be. Um, and I feel like if we could apply that as a whole instead of like demanding things, like I can give you one example what's going on in New York where it's everybody else's fault that you can't afford rent. So now you have to like freeze rent for 2,500 buildings and pretty much destroy the entire rental market in the state of in the entire city. Like things like that. That's why people are electing these socialist, communist, Marxist people because you don't need to take personal responsibility. You can actually just complain and say that it's everybody else's fault that you don't have what you want, what you need, and that it's our responsibility to make sure that you get it by, taking more of our tax dollars or whatever. Punishing the successful people in this country to help people who don't want to be successful, who can be successful if they want to. That's the beauty of America. You can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish here. You just have to want to accomplish something. So I definitely echo Savvy. I agree with her 100%.
And to your point, Barbie, this whole anti-billionaires thing that you saw on Labor Day, instead of perhaps holding a rally, maybe get out and get a job because you too could do it if you apply yourself. And furthermore, I put out a very important post earlier today. Of course, we're a solution because Taylor Swift never had a successful relationship under the Biden administration. Now she's engaged. Okay, you're welcome, Taylor.
Oh my
You're
God, that's
welcome,
hilarious.
Swifties. Thanks, girl. It's I just posted a couple hours ago. Yeah. You're welcome, America.
This is
Thank
why
you,
I love
President
you.
Trump.
And Savvy, in a few minutes after we're going to go through this conversation for a minute, but then I'm going to bring it back a little bit. I want to ask you about some of the things that you talked about in our interview, and I haven't got your
I
feedback.
would love
Yeah,
to.
I want you to because I want you to discuss a couple of things because they're going to tie into what we're talking about. Go ahead, Jen, jump in there, and then Sarah.
Yeah, so Mike, to answer your question, like obviously I believe with Savvy right now, I agree with Savvy that like we are the solution, but like you have to go back to let's say 2001, 2003, 2008, right, where Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and the Bushes were going around in the name of America to topple countries from within to install their version of whatever the hell democracy is, right? Because we live in a constitutional republic. I don't know what they're spreading democracy over here by, going in with NGOs, using these NGOs as secret ways to rally the civilians of these countries for them to go out and overthrow their governments. That's not okay. And for up until now with President Trump, that is what America has been exporting. Right. So if we're talking about now, yeah, now we're going around and bringing peace to all these places. President Trump, Rwanda, Armenia, all these places that have been at war, right? And largely because of those people that I just mentioned, right? President Trump is now being able to go in there and bring the peace back to these countries that was a lot of the time taken in the name of quote democracy, whatever that is.
I will say, John, that if we could just get rid of the NGO structure and regulate it or blow it up in smithereens or whatever, I feel like everybody in the world, definitely everybody in this country would have a better life. I would venture to say the world, that is serious, the dark money NGO web of crap is. And if there was ever a time for everybody to rally together and like try to pass some kind of reforms, I don't know, financial disclosures, whatever. I'm not going to go and bore people, but things of that nature, that would be a monumental help that you guys can't even imagine because all of these NGOs are involved in every single aspect of your life, every ballot measure in your city, in your state. They try to control everything with their democracy. I say that in quotes.
So,
Okay, jump back.
no, go ahead,
Go
Jen.
ahead and respond, Jennifer. I'll wait.
Oh, thank you. No, Barbie's totally right. Right. And you really have to look that the NGO structure is what the Democrats have been using to keep power and exploit America around the world. right? So the world's problems is largely created by America and these NGOs and this false
Jen, can you real
democracy.
quick, can you give, like, for the people that are listening, can you give us an example? Like, do you know any examples of these NGOs and things they do, so people can kind of put an example with something that they do? Or it,
Well, you know what, Barbie has done tremendous work on this, so I'm gonna have Barbie jump in. It's hers. Go ahead, girl.
I mean, the Center for American Progress, let's start with that. They were responsible for implementing pretty much all of Biden's agenda, where he changed the entire way in which the federal government allocates money. Instead of giving it to state and local governments, it went to NGOs who then appropriated to state and local governments, which means a bunch of leftist NGOs are in control of billions of dollars that they then appropriate to state and local governments based on things like equity, which, as we all know, is it doesn't mean anything. Equity means like whoever the designated group is that you're trying to prop up right now for your identity politics, that's who's getting the money, right? A lot of it's probably going to go to get out the vote efforts that the Democrats are going to use in 2026. That's one example. We can go down the list.
Hold on, Barbie, real quick.
So wait 1 second. Maze, can you jump in here on the international stuff? Is Maze there?
She might be. Hold on a second. I'm going to come to Maze in 1 second, but I want to ask Barbie just real quick for people that are listening, when they hear NGOs, like, we kind of take it for granted. We know what these non-government organizations are, but how does it start? Like, does someone start, like, a lot of us are confused. Like, does someone just start an NGO? Do they approach?
Yeah, you can just start a nonprofit.
And
right?
then, and then what's the next
for
steps that they follow?
nonprofit status with the government. And this is the crazy part. When you apply, right, they will give you an EIN number immediately that you can operate under for, is it 90 days? There's a time that you can operate. Once you apply for your nonprofit status, you get your EIN number, you are now a nonprofit entity, right? And as they're doing this in America, right, what they'll do is they'll go to these international destinations, right, that they have their eye on, because there's probably minerals there, or there's probably like some interest of that people want, right? And they'll go in and they're like, okay, hi, we're here, we're the newest NGO, and we're here to teach your population about transgenders, because there's transgenders in your country. And or we're here to hand out condoms, or we're here to stop AIDS, right? And the people that they are employing in these nonprofits, right, are they passing out condoms? Yeah. Are they probably also passing out copies of Saul Alinsky books, or implanting that your government is the real problem, and you guys have the ability to stand up, and we have a lot of connections in America to people that we could bring in to help you guys along to get rid of this tyrannical government that you have. So they'll bring in the Norm Eisens of the world, and they'll go in and they'll be like, okay, hey, I'm Norm Eisen. I wrote the book on color revolutions, and let me show you the steps.
I don't think they
need
tell
to
you
take.
that, but they definitely do that. I don't think they admit it.
I think they do admit it. When you have a guy walking in that literally wrote a book that says, this is how you do a color revolution, and I am known for color revolutions. Like, his claim to fame is the Velvet Revolution in like Czechoslovakia or something, right? Like, when those
the problem
people
is they
show
call it by
up,
pretty
they
names.
know that like what those people are about, right? Like,
I don't
do they
disagree with you. You know my
expressly
stance
say
on
it?
all of this.
Right? Do they expressly say it? No, probably like not. Like, I'm here to do a color revolution. But when you come in and you start talking about toppling your government, or rallying the troops to, get into the streets to protest, quote, against your government, and then people like Soros have those shock troops that they bring in, that go in, start smashing skulls, smashing windows, get people riled up into a riot. They pull those people out before they can get arrested. And then you have the NGOs who sit there and, keep it going.
Well, they do all the messaging, they do all the posters, they do all of the organizing, they do all of the social media, they do all of a lot of them bail out people, but it's even worse than that, in my opinion, because the problem in this country is that when you have one of these 501c4s, there's certain things that you don't have to report. One of them, in a lot of the cases, is foreign funding. So you don't have to necessarily report in many instances. I don't know every single rule, but the general rule
It's by
is that
state. So like
Yeah.
Wyoming, I think it's Wyoming, you don't have to report your donor, like the people who donate, right? Or Delaware is another one. Funny enough, Delaware.
And so everyone's going to obviously incorporate there or set up their companies there, and then they don't have to report foreign funding. And then you have like the CCP or whoever, I don't know, pick a foreign government that hates, or a foreign country that hates us and wants to destroy us from within. And you can have them give as much money as they want to these NGOs. Like all of these student protests, most of them were connected to someone named Neville Singham. Okay. If you want to, people should look up that name. He is like literally has an office in Shanghai. He is as close to a CCP asset in this country, allegedly, because people are so happy these days, allegedly, as you can get, right? So if you look up all of the different, I mean, I've done threads on this, it's been reported now everywhere, but all of these college protests, these like little Marxist indoctrination factories where they protest America pretty much, at the end of the day, no matter what they're really protesting about, it's actually about America. It's actually about like, let's take down the West. Those are all funded by our enemies. Like people like Neville Singham who funnel CCP money into their 15 NGOs or 25 NGOs, and then they like move it because money's fungible. Good luck tracing that and figuring out like what went where. I mean, people are doing it. Data Republican does like yeoman's work on this, but I mean, it's harder. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of these structures, is to make it very difficult to track the money and to avoid reporting. And we pay for it because they all get tax breaks. They do this stuff and they get a tax break, right? Because they're 501c3, 501c4. And then on top of it, they put their Democrat friends as like the heads of these organizations and pay them a crazy salary. So it's like a big circle jerk of a grift, because all the way around you're pretty much hiding what you're doing, hiding who your donors are, hiding where the money's coming from. Like I was doing research into how many ballot initiatives were funded by Johannesburg Weiss or whatever his name is. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he's not even an American citizen, right? So technically he's not even allowed to put any money into our political system. But he does. He's a citizen of Switzerland, but he does. Why? Because he's a foundation and an NGO, and then it just all gets routed through these companies. That is, I think, if someone asked me what the biggest problem and why America is so divided, is because we allow so much foreign money to come in here under the guise of civic service organizations and completely dismantle everything that we know and love and stand for.
Damn. Well said, ladies.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead, Janet. Sarah, go ahead, Sarah, and then I'll go to Jen.
Perfect. So, hopefully mine will be short. So, short answer, absolutely. I think America is the greatest country to have ever existed. And like, I just love my country. But I started thinking, for reasoning, like on how to explain, started thinking, what if America never was of existence? And I'm wondering what your guys' thoughts are on that question. Because me, I go blank. I can't even imagine what the world. I honestly think where we are now would have long happened already.
Well, Sarah, just the fact that people all over the world all can agree on one thing: they'd all rather come here, right?
They
So
all
there's
look to
something
us.
there.
Yeah,
There's
they look
something
to us.
positive about us if everybody wants to, even if they want to come here to destroy us, which doesn't make any. I've never understood why they want to bring a destructive, like just weird like culture over here and then re-implement what it is that you hated over here to live in it. Is that familiarity? I don't know what it is, but I do find it. But everybody wants to come here, so
Well, and then also
that
look
does
at
say
the
something.
look at the places they come from, Mike. Look at what they did to their own countries. Why are they coming here? Because they cannot live there anymore. It is unlivable, right? It's
Well,
dangerous. It's deadly. It's so they come over here, and whether they like us or not, they're gonna come over here. And especially the group that we've been talking about on this topic or recently, yeah, they come over here. Oh yeah, don't you think it'd be nice? We can, mix together and
But when you're
everything's great.
saying, I have a question. When you're saying, look what they did to their own countries, what are you talking about?
Anybody that comes over here with the intention to harm America and Americans. I'm not talking about a specific country in that, whenever I was talking about that at all. I mean in general, right? Their countries are overran, right? I'm not saying it's because of them, but because of situations that they aren't safe.
I think to Jen's point, though, there was a lot of US involvement in that up until now, right? And just kind of acknowledging that, these were intentional kind of coups and then counter coups that were set in motion. And there was, lots of documentation, even kind of laying it out as a plan. We have the Rebuilding America's Defenses and all of these things that even Hillary Clinton that you brought up, where, they're installing democracy and whatnot. I mean, when they go and there's, let's just say via counterintelligence or counterterrorism activities, they, begin to dismantle infrastructure through these wars and proxy wars. People get displaced. And to be honest with you, I agree that it's not like I think that we need to really understand, the root of the problem to really find solutions, and to talk about those. So it's just really kind of, that's why I asked you to elaborate. You know what I mean?
Oh no, you're good. You're good. But I'm curious. So with what you just said, right? So let's take America out of the picture. Like what if we're the problem, let's take us out of it and let's kind of like try to dissect it that way, maybe to figure out if we really are the solution, if that makes sense, is I think what I'm trying to get at.
Well, when we say if we are the problem, I think that that's a very complex situation and issue. I think that there's things that we've done that have been problematic, also be a solution. It just matters on who's leading the country, right? And what foreign policy we have, and what domestic, policy that is really intended to make us independent and thrive. And so I think, in itself, like we there's lots of different kinds of problems with lots of different root causes. And no, we're not at the helm of all of them. We definitely have contributed to a lot of the immigration stuff. We saw what happened with the 4 years that Biden was in office. I mean, the first day he came in, he signed 90 executive orders within the first 3 months that was literally opening everything up to now, where, and how are we solving for that? I think is kind of I think that he's done a lot of great things for closing the border and putting a lot of focus and attention there. I also think that creating the surveillance state is also happening at the same time, as a way to deal with that crisis. And that's what I find problematic. And I'd love to talk about that whenever we get there. But because when you're saying it's not necessarily like this is at the expense of the citizens that actually live here rightfully, we're going to now be subjected to massive amounts of, potential. So, I mean, so once the infrastructure is in place, we don't know who's going to be, the president next or the year after that. Like this could totally be misused. It's a very vulnerable situation to put us in. So
No,
I agree.
Maze, and I just want to say something real quick, and Sarah, I'll come right back to you. I think that I agree with you. I do agree, but it's just like, and maybe I'm affected, and maybe other people are affected by the lack of patience and this need to fix a problem. But when I look at Chicago, and and I say from an outside point of view, and I read the stuff that's going on in the city. Of course, there are many places in Chicago that are unaffected by it. Right? They won't see this in their normal day-to-day stuff. But when you look at the numbers, I don't understand why it is not a good thing to go in there and try to fix that. Now, to what you said,
Because people are making too much money off the poverty.
yeah, that's.
and
I
the
mean, I get that, but what I'm saying though is I don't even understand the situation that we're in now, where someone can publicly say it. We don't want. I mean, we don't want anybody to come in here and mess with our city. Like, what kind of world are we living in now, where people can literally defend the absolute worst? And Maze, I was going to ask you a question. Do you think that Nancy Pelosi, in just a general broad stroke, do you think she's a good person or a bad person?
You are asking me to do what I have been trying to steer people away from,
Well,
right? Like
that's probably the more fun to do it like.
well, the reason, of course, I can't stand Nancy Pelosi, okay, but I wanted to lead by example and try to stay away from like the whole, judgment of things, because sometimes when I am criticizing policy and criticizing actions, people want to just jump in and be like, oh my God, you're undermining the administration.
fair.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Fair point.
But yeah, Nancy Pelosi can kick rocks.
Let me ask you this. I love kick rocks. So okay, let me
More
ask you
than
this.
that, in my opinion.
A lot of people see that, like, if I say, is Nancy Pelosi good or bad? A lot of people say either it's 100 to 0. Either she's 100% bad and 0% good, right? But sometimes people are 60% good, 40% bad. Like, they do 60% more positive things than they do negative things. And so what I'm wondering is, do you see within our country, before we go back to the problem in the world, is it because in our country we're starting to see a greater divide between that what was 55-45 is now starting to get up to 75-25. And now you're talking about judges and politicians and leaders that represent these people literally fighting and putting their careers on the line to make sure that illegals, rapists, and these people like that are kept here and kept protected because of due process or whatever it is. And I get it. I get that the due process is tricky. I get it. But do you see what I'm saying? It's like we're the outside world is here, and we're looking at them on the other side. I'm not saying that everything that Trump does is great. I'm not saying that everything J.D. Vance, if he's president, would do it's great. But I think that I would put them more in a, even if you don't like them, right? I would still think you could still say 65-35, right? As opposed, it doesn't have to be your 99 Trump, 1 for somebody else. But I think that divide is growing. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I think that what we're seeing on the outside is happening to us live in real time. We're seeing it in England right now, live.
Evil, Mike.
The immigrants. So, okay. There's a few things that, all right, let me just ask you this. So you're saying that the 25-75, are you saying that 75% are now what? They're not in
So
favor of
I'll use one of the examples you've been talking about a lot lately is Palantir. Right. So Palantir is doing some very scary stuff. And Peter Thiel, I get it, you know who he is and blah, blah, blah. But Peter Thiel is not 100% bad. You see what I'm saying? There is a percentage of him that, like, there's a percentage of Palantir that has done good things. There's a percentage of Palantir that could, I'm talking, just with like medical stuff, right? Every single thing that Palantir has ever touched is not evil. That's because I'm talking about statistically impossible.
I think you got that from Jordan, because I think he's the only person that's ever said that. Jordan Daly, where'd you get the medical stuff?
Trust me,
Where'd you get the medical
I got it
stuff?
from.
The reason why I'm asking is because we debated about this, and I literally, mopped up that whole debate. And I think that it would behoove us to really understand Palantir. That way, maybe you guys
Palantir has never contributed anything positive to society in any way, shape, or form. They have been about the destruction of the United States from day one.
I didn't say that their intention is to be the destruction of the United States.
I'm asking, like, is there 1% of anything that they've ever? Okay, I just picked Palantir. I don't. It could be anybody. Like, I'm just using them as an example. Is there 1% of something that they've done that's positive?
Because
if it can't, if it can't be 1%,
it would be improbable. It would be improbable
really
that it would be improbable that they haven't done something positive.
Okay, so I like the way you reversed phrase that.
She's agreeing. She's agreeing.
Yeah, she is agreeing. That's a freaking negative equals a positive. I get it.
It was a slick
way. That was sharp.
America.
Not bad.
I love it.
What I'm saying is, I'm thinking that what I'm saying is that some people may not like Trump, but they're still going to go with him 65-35. I'm saying that the people on the left side are now starting, whereas I might have looked at them as the 25%, I'm now starting to see them within our own country at around the 10%. And now 8%. I'm starting to lose the whole focus on those people as being at that 65-35. I'm now seeing them as like an 80-20 or a 90-10. Those are people in our country that I'm seeing them as, like, I just don't see anything positive about everything you're doing, from the illegals to these judges to the things that are going on. I'm starting to see it within our own country. The divide is growing. And so I'm just wondering how that affects in the world. But go ahead, Mace. If that
And I
made
don't
sense.
like the divide. I really don't like the divide. It makes sense. I think one of the things that I really just want to highlight is the role of Palantir and the role of Thiel. He's increasingly becoming a very strategic player in reshaping public governance through private influence. That's the problem. Like, we can't even hold them accountable to any audits. We have no visibility into their system, their source code, their algorithms. And they also have contracts that span across the UK, Australia, Germany, Israel, and a whole bunch of other countries, right? And they position themselves as basically a operating system for the modern, intelligence. They're like the global intelligence mesh, right, across the Five Eyes nations and beyond. And in addition to being a U.S. contractor, it's like this nodal point in transnational surveillance architecture. And this is building and the thing is that once we're under this system, how it could be used against us is terrifying. It's terrifying. And I just wish that people could understand that. And really kind of focus on what we can do to prevent or safeguard perhaps ourselves in the process of this being. I don't know how to, I don't have the answers. It's hard to even have a conversation about it, really. But I think that it's it's a global mesh of
Yeah.
intelligence. It's corporate led. And they're also quietly interoperable because of Palantir.
Well,
They're
I
the
don't.
ones that's kind of fusing all this together.
Yeah, no, I don't want to turn it into Palantir. I know that they're tricky. And Barbie, I'm going to go to you, and then we'll get back to the hands. I just, I'm just talking about the percentage of the divide in this country, where it may have been 55-45 is now looking at it's like a solid 90-10. That I'm trying to find some positive stuff on the left-hand side to be able to have a decent conversation with. Barbie, go ahead and jump in there.
I was just gonna say, and I think I forgot most of what I was thinking, but
Couch. Think
sorry.
of things that don't have anything to
I'm
do with the
trying to do three things at
couch,
once.
carpet,
Uh,
refrigerator.
I'm cleaning up my kids' playroom as I'm doing this. Okay. So what was I thinking? I'm trying to. What was I? Yes. What I was going to say is that the divide in this country is because we have a media class and an entire social media apparatus that is hell bent on the divide. I mean, the divide is actually by design, and it's pretty clear because there's a lot of people who are very angry, like in the media and social media. Everyone's like very angry, and anger is one of those emotions where you can't really solve problems. If you're only going on emotion, it's impossible to solve problems. Whereas if everybody was calm and like having rational discussions, and they could like, this is a problem we need to solve. For instance, I can give you one really good example that's going to hurt us in the midterms. If Republicans don't come up with a good healthcare plan or a good healthcare option, that's going to be a problem in the midterms because Democrats are already messaging on that. And listen, I will say one thing about the Democrats. They will never do anything that they say, but they're really good at saying it. And they're really good at saying it all together at the same time in a circle so that everybody gets in line. And by the end of their messaging, you're so freaking confused that even you start to believe it, even though you know it's BS. Okay, so we suck at that. And so I feel like we're a little bit disjointed because we need to be thinking about what would help the American people, like everyday American people who go out and vote, the ones who like go work their 2 jobs and take care of their kids and do whatever they can to just survive. And I've heard on many spaces, healthcare is a huge thing for them. And I don't see anybody in the Republican Party talking about it. So like things like that, if we could get back to like common sense policies that would actually help the American people, that would actually benefit the American people, I really feel like that would go a long way to bridging the gap and the divide. Because at the end of the day, what do we all want? I don't know. I can speak for myself. I would like safety, security, um, eh, you know, good economy, decent economy for my kids to be able to not get trans at school. Like I'll be being honest, like the indoctrination factories to stop, the genital mutilation, like, but all of this horrible crap that they're doing to children, this indoctrination, and that is like probably number 1 on my list. Maybe number 2 is going to be the economy and good healthcare, just good decent policies and a closed border. I will say a closed border is like my top 5, which Trump is kicking butt on. And I think you should continue down that path because we've literally had like almost 0 illegal border crossings in months, and nobody's even talking about it. Nobody's even giving him credit for it because everybody's trying to find
They're
some kind of
nitpicking.
problem.
They're nitpicking, Barbie. They're just trying to look for one little thing to be like, oh my gosh, the world's on fire.
What about yoga pants? Are we supposed to be worried about yoga pants?
No. Well,
Are those here to stay? I'm just checking.
Wait, yoga what? Sorry,
Depends who's
what is
wearing
that?
them.
Yogurt pants. Well,
Yoga
the two things
pants,
that never
yoga
lie are
pants.
yogurt pants and kids. Those two
You
things
know,
never
I'm
lie.
a big fan of yoga pants and sweatpants in general. So like, we need to keep those.
Ditto.
That's my
Okay,
lifeline.
just
Are you
want to
kidding?
make
Moms
sure
like
we all
that.
have our wants and needs. Just checking.
But I just wanted to add into a little bit on that Palantir maze. Don't worry, I totally get the caution that you're trying to bring everybody's attention, right? I totally get it. There was I forget what the company's name was, but there was a company we were talking about in Mandy's space this morning that totally, I get you. I get what you're saying. It could be very, very bad. Very
Yeah, I
bad.
mean, people
Easily.
are like, "Oh, you're fear mongering," and they're this and that. And it's like, I mean, I'm always getting tagged with some sort of label and something, and I have some bad intention when it's just truly an honest, this
You're
is
concerned.
scary.
Yeah, you're
It is
concerned.
concern. And I think it's beyond partisanship, to be honest with you. I think we've made these like identity politics type of thing a national tradition. And it's really distracting us from being able to collaborate and to do things. Like even the Conservative Party has been literally fractured, and continuing to fracture, to Mike's point. And it's like, when can we stop calling each other names and labeling each other as and some bad guy now? Because we have concerns that we could talk through. I think we're so used to the tribalism that it's like, oh, are you leaving the tribe? Well, fuck you. That's kind of what it's turned into when it's not, it shouldn't be that way.
Today's Palantir was yesterday's Blackwater. It's never going anywhere. There's things that contractors can accomplish that the U.S. government cannot, and that goes to your own security. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, it will always be the wild, wild west. And intelligence is what makes the world go round. Don't get played into the intelligence. You ain't got to worry about it. But it's the biggest thing that we've got going on in this country. And the worry about Palantir is probably another year. They will change the name. Blackwater has gone through different iterations. It's always going to be there. I suggest you learn as much as you can. And the thing is, if you go out and look up Palantir, you go up and look Triple Canopy. I was a contractor. I worked for Triple Canopy. We did things that the U.S. government couldn't do because we were contracted there to get this particular job done. And if you go out there and you go really through their sites, you'll understand where they're at and what they do. And a lot of it is dictated on your security. The problem is
I
who's
disagree.
writing those contracts for what are they asked them to do. That comes again to your government.
But how, okay, so let me ask you a question because I have looked into it deeply and I'm not speaking from a place of like, oh, I just want to ride the wave. I'm really concerned about this because of the capability that the AI integration and the aggregation of data gives them. So like the predictive capability in order to run all these simulations and narratives, like I don't even think we really fully understand how that could shape the future of America. And when you're saying that it's in our best interest, I would love to know what you mean by that. And why aren't we turning this surveillance capability against the deep state and the government? And with we have the capability now to be so transparent with every single penny that is spent and everything that's I was expecting maybe perhaps I shouldn't have, but I thought that that's what we were going to try to do as the first order of business was to clean out this swamp, you know?
But the deep
So
state is so deep that it's not going to happen in 7 months, Maze.
yeah,
I
I don't
I
expect that.
don't think
I'm
people
just
understand the gravitas of what the deep state really is and the infrastructure that they have built over the last 50 years. And we are seeing it. We're very impatient because we're a Burger King generation. We want it now. We want it our way. But what's happening is we voted for a particular person to go up there and do what needs to be done. Tulsi's put some stuff out, whatever. I know for a fact that things are happening. Just having the last international security briefing by General Flynn, there, the deep state, and to be able to your original question was why won't we turn it on the deep state? Because the deep state is still in charge. It's that simple. Donald Trump is a tourniquet. He is not the fix. We, the people, need to understand that and elect ourselves into good people. We saw Joni Ernst take a lap and is gone, thank God. We saw Mitch McConnell is gone. We saw Tillis is gone. This doesn't just happen all like this, because they know that it's becoming a very skinny place in the Senate, and these longtime rhinos are going to be outed. It's happening. I don't know exactly. I wish I could sit here and give you all the juice, but there's plenty of other uh, uh, space hosts or profiles that will tell you all the super secret stuff that they think they know. I don't do that. But what we have to understand is it's called the deep state for a reason, because it's embedded so far into our political lexicon that it's going to take a while to dig it out.
I need to use that term, political lexicon. Well done with that one.
I like the Burger
Brother.
King
I do
reference too.
too. That was good. Coyote, you've had your hand up. Let's go to you. And I think Shane had his hand up, and then we'll go to Jen and Heather.
Appreciate it, Patriot. No, he's right. Everybody's right in this instant. It's like who's the boogeyman? Well, I mean, would it be out of the picture to say that all these intelligence agencies have gone rogue, and they don't have to, they don't go report back to anybody. They've created their own thing, man. It's a grimy world. It's a corporate world. And then we get the media, which they put their spotlight on whatever place they want to at the time. It's like when Elon Musk the other day, he was out there tweeting the hell out of all that Britain and stuff. I'm over there like, okay, what's going on over here? Because they want us to look over there, and it's frustrating. But the thing that I think people need to come to terms with is this isn't nothing new. It's not like Trump will come in and it's like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just do it. No, this has been going on for a long time. They got all kinds of divide and conquer kind of type things that have came up in here, and they've been they've just been patiently doing the shit that they do. And I think that this is my belief. I truly believe that we got Biden and it was terrible. We were just like, give us, and when Trump came in, it's like, man, and it makes it worse, like harder, because we are that Burger King generation and we do want it right now. But the whole thing is, it's so deep, this whole world, and everything was it was kind of set in motion for these elite to do whatever the hell it is that they're doing to us right now, that it was inevitable. And that's the thing. We just got to kind of have these talks right here and try to understand it, because it gets real confusing. And there's a lot of stuff out there. It's like, I was looking at that immigration OS that Palantir's doing for ICE, and I'm like, holy shit. And they got all these drones and stuff. And then I found out they've had it since 2015 too. These things can see from miles away. So it kind of made me like feel better in a sense, but not really. Because I was like, I'm freaking out. It can read your fingerprints from miles away, but it's been, but it doesn't make it any better. But I do think that we need to come more together, because this shit's hard trying to hear, having damn Democrats coming in and spaces and having to hear accomplishments of Obama and stuff. Man, I'm like, man, come on. But I'm not going to be a Dan Crenshaw or a Lindsey Graham, at the same time. That's not me. It's not. So it's very hard right now, because we have a lot of us have some different opinions about stuff, but we're so similar when it comes down to it, and that's what drives me crazy.
Thank you, Coyote. I think it was Shane next. Yeah.
Oh no, I think Coyote covered everything. Yeah, that guy's got away with words.
He does. And I like the way he says similar, however he pronounces that word. I was like, oh, that's adorable. Okay. Who was next? I don't remember. Was it Jen? And
I
then
think it was
Gary?
Jen,
I
and
thought it
then
was Shane.
Heather.
Shane didn't want to go.
I forgot I had my hand up.
Okay. It's Heather and Gary. That's my best friend, y'all, by the way.
She's working on some amazing, amazing things I'm not allowed to speak about yet, but
Oh,
I had a at-length discussion with her today, and I am just so incredibly freaking proud of what she is doing and what she has on the horizon.
You're
So
not supposed to talk about it. Shut up.
I'm
I
excited.
know,
I'm
but
not,
I'm not saying anything.
But
and
you're
I'm
I'm
just
saying
saying
excited.
enough. You would
I'm
never be.
so freaking
You
proud
are
of
officially
her.
Do we
fired
have a
from the
time
first
frame?
level of intel.
That's up to her to answer. I'm just saying I'm proud. Okay, Heather, I'm
Well,
muting. Go.
okay, I could talk. It's not like top secret.
But it's yours to share, not mine. But I was
Oh,
just really proud, and I love you.
I love you too. And Chad, you're actually going to be getting a phone call about this. But I am starting a nonprofit, and I'm pretty pumped. Sadly, Sav, the name that we had discussed
No.
is there's one very, very similar, and it's too similar that if I am able to scale this, I don't
Oh.
want I got some legal advice and so I don't want to so I have to think of a new name. But it's basically, I mean, I don't want to derail the space. We
Heather, let me
can.
just say this real fast. Say Something LLC is already. I've already got my numbers. I already got all my tax stuff. It's too late, so you're gonna have to find something else.
Oh, I'm hanging on every word. No, please continue, Heather. Please.
No, I basically, for those of you who have followed me for any length of time, you guys probably have figured out that cooking, especially from scratch, is like, it's my hobby, it's my therapy, it's like what I really enjoy doing. And I've been trying to figure out how to meld multiple facets of my life together into one cohesive thing. And so what I'm going to start, the original name that can no longer be is, it was going to be called Vittles for Veterans. And I basically want to start something where I will go and host events at various VFWs, cook for the veterans, like from scratch, home cooked meals. I then want to turn it into, you know, if these, when I think of like older veterans, a lot of them are, you know, their spouses maybe have passed on or they don't have a lot of family. I want to make sure that they always have home cooked meals for the holidays, Thanksgiving, birthdays, Christmas, and then eventually turn it into teaching veterans how to cook from scratch. Because for me, I just find so much art in cooking. It's a very therapeutic thing to take a bunch of ingredients and turn it into something that tastes amazing. Most people are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Not terrified, but they're scared to try something new. And something as easy as cooking can bring somebody so much validation and like a reward mechanism that they can then enjoy. And you know, I think that there's a lot of veterans out there that don't realize the simple joys in cooking and how much of an accomplishment it can feel like to really make something that tastes good. And so it's just something that I want to share with the community. It's something I know I'm good at. And just the thought of like making a solid meal for like 50 veterans. I'm like the lady from Wedding Singer. The very beginning, the one that the guy's giving cooking lessons to, and she pays him in meatballs and she makes him take a bite because she's like, I just want to see you enjoy it.
Old
Like,
lady.
that's me.
The old lady.
When
The piano lessons. Yeah.
Yes, that is exactly me. If I ever cook for you, you will see me giving you side eye regardless of where I am to see if you are enjoying the food that I make you. And you can ask Brett. I'll make Brett the same dish I've made 50 times, but I always need that validation that it tastes good. So yeah, so anyways, I'm starting the process. I was actually going to start filling out and getting all the paperwork together today until, and I'm going to still continue to do that tomorrow, but I need to swerve on the name and figure out some things. A couple other names that people had thought of was the veterans table, which I thought was cool. There's a couple other ones. So if you guys have any cool names, feel free to DM me and I'll completely give you credit
I
for
don't
it.
DM shit. I've got the best one ever, and
Oh,
it's
geez.
Honor from Scratch.
Ooh.
Wait, what was that?
I get paid a lot of money to do this shit, and that shit's for free.
But Chad,
honor
I
from scratch
actually,
is what I said.
until Mr. Pollock took the wind out of my sails, you were my next person to call and chat about this with. But I also want to do like events where I bring like maybe celebrity chefs together and we put out a banger meal for VFW veterans, or, you know, go to like assisted living facilities and interact with the veterans there. Like I just think that cooking is so powerful, and being able to make something out of nothing essentially, it's rewarding, and a lot of veterans are missing that reward center. You know, they maybe don't feel like they they aren't accomplishing anything or whatever, and it's just like it's a really great feeling, you know, like I said, to make a meal from scratch and turn raw meat into something amazing, turn flour into a baked good. And I just feel like if people just had somebody there to guide them with it, you know, that's a way to give veterans a sense of accomplishment throughout the day. Like just making one good meal for yourself, making one good meal for your family or your neighbor, and it creates community. You know, if you go to the CDC, the leading cause of suicide is lack of connection and community. And so I just want to be able to give somebody the gift of being able to create that community within themselves. So
Are you going to do in kinds like clothing donations and stuff, Heather?
say that again.
In kinds. I used to work at a 501c3. The donations, people donate their stuff. You give them that little form so they can do their taxes. But that's a good way to, you know, give clothing to some of the people that you know are less fortunate.
And then start a thrift store, and that will fund everything.
I mean, that would be a great idea to do as a fundraiser, but I'm keeping my mission and the basis of cooking and creating community. Like that's our mission statement, is using cooking to create community. And so, I mean, I'll like bedazzle it so it sounds better than that, but that's like the general gist. So yeah, thank you, Sav, for letting me, you know, talk about that. I'm excited to kind of get this started, and I'm hoping I know it'll take time to get everything official, but I have a target goal of making sure that at least like this holiday season, we are cooking for some veterans that perhaps don't have a family to cook for them, or you know, whatever the case may be. So that's my goal.
By the way, I saw y'all's video the other day. You're in Savvy. I kept getting y'all confused. I was like, which one's Heather? Which one's Savvy? You know, which
No.
one's this here?
Blonde and I'm
well, yes, she's got the red hair and my hair is now blonde, but we get that all the time.
It's a lipstick.
It is. And that all my makeup is courtesy of my best friend because she is my stylist at events. So thank you, my love.
It's an easy canvas to beautify. So
Oh, even now that I'm using my birthday present from you, which is salmon sperm, ask her about it. I don't know what it is. All I know is it's salmon sperm and it works.
it does. I sent Savvy her, for those of you that don't know, she just had her birthday, and I used to work in the skincare realm, which is why I also have makeup skills. Because I was a makeup artist, and I sent Savvy the newest, latest, and greatest in skincare, which is salmon sperm. So if you guys want to have a nice glow,
it works too, and your skin is so bouncy and pretty. Yeah.
How many salmon does it take to get
I don't know. Coyote, that was the funniest freaking conversation because I called her. I'm like, what is this? Because I literally washed my face and just put like beef tallow on it. Well, that irritates her because she is who she is. And so she's like, oh, I know exactly what I'm getting you for your birthday. So I get this package in the mail and it's some serum and some collagen something. And I'm like, and she goes, okay, Sab, don't freak out. Okay, but it's like salmon sperm. I'm like, I swear to God, Heather, if I open this and it smells like fish cum, sorry, there's no X equivalent to try to, to try to come up with a different word. But if it smells like that, I'm really going to be upset.
And she's like, no, I promise it doesn't. It does not. It's quite pleasant. It does have that little salmony color to it. But I do it morning and night in the order that I was instructed. And my skin is she's glowing. I'm not mad at it. So
You got the June
anywho,
glow.
I do. I gotta no. We're gonna stop there.
I was
Okay.
This
Well,
isn't
we
my
if I said it
space. We're gonna
fast enough,
stop
you would just
there.
repeat it, not
Yeah,
knowing what you were saying.
I was about
I
to,
put
and
it
then
in
I
a
stopped.
jumbo. It does look nice, like it's packaged well.
You know,
Yeah.
it's really from a salmon, not like from a mackerel or some kind of trash fish.
See, Steph, why you got to go there? Why you got to do that to me?
Hair is on point. I do agree. I know exactly what you guys are talking about.
See,
I
Millie
can't
gets
I
it.
can't believe that Chad has let this space get this gay this fast and go on for so long. I just
Seriously, this is why I do Bitcoin and finance.
bro.
Because I'm thinking
Gary, don't act like you're not trying to figure out how to make that face glow
Exactly.
too. You want the fountain of youth
dude,
too.
I just don't think you needed to get it from salmon. I mean, just go hire yourself a man. One man can do what
That's what I'm
1,000
talking
salmon
about.
need. I mean, come on. Like, let's
Well, no, they
and
take the
I wonder
stem
how long
cells
it took
from
you to
it.
rip through that bag. You were probably like, oh my God, dude, let's roll. I need to get covered in this shit.
No, it's funny because I'm quite hesitant. So I opened it. I'm like, what is this? Because I don't do that. And it doesn't say it on there. Okay. It doesn't have a picture of a salmon and like anyway, it doesn't have that. It's very beautifully packaged. But it sat there for a couple
Just a pink
days.
wiener.
No.
Oh, okay.
Let's move on.
Oh
Let's
my,
move on.
please.
Let's
Mike,
move
this
on.
is your
Okay.
room, okay?
I know.
And I
I'm
mean,
giving
like
it as much leeway as possible.
this never happens
A lot of estrogen.
in my rooms. I got to tell you, it's just unbelievable. You guys are
Well,
embarrassing me.
you know.
I have been blushing for 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what?
well,
338 other
we're
people
gonna
are
boom it.
loving this space.
I mean,
So
between my
Deep has had his
unvaxxed
hand
sperm
up.
and your
Hold on a second. Let's do a hard drop. Deep, you've had your hand up, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for your patience, brother. Jump in there. Get us back on track, will you?
after all that, I got muted.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chad. I didn't hear Chad. You were talking. My bad. Go ahead.
I'll be quick. Look,
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, no, this has been a great conversation. I'm kind of just
we're not talking about skiing, dude.
no. No. Well, it's not ski season. It's hot as hell over here in Utah. But anyways, look, going back to what you guys were talking about earlier, I this is just my opinion. You know, I mean, I think most people agree with it. I personally think the United States is the greatest country created in modern history, and I don't think that at least I don't think anyone on stage is going to disagree with this concept. But just because we are the greatest country that's created in modern history doesn't mean that other countries around the world don't want to displace our position in the world order. And you know, the question a lot of people have to ask here about some of the things we do abroad, and I probably disagree with some of the things we certainly do abroad, and some of the endless and needless proxy wars that we create and don't really have an end solution or end game for. But would you rather live in a world run by China? And the answer is probably not, according to most people here on stage. So, yes, America does have foreign interests around the world. We cannot get all of the resources we need at home alone. Thankfully, we are extracting as much American energy and critical resources and minerals that we can produce in this country. But we do have to deal with other countries around the world. I don't want to necessarily say work, but deal with them, because some countries may rip us off on trade deals. Some countries may rip us off on, different things. And unfortunately or fortunately, and I think most people that I talk to, kind of agree with this statement, is, I would rather maintain my quality of life and standard of living uh, than, some things that may not look optically as beautiful as some people would like to see. And it's one of the reasons I support MAGA as much as I possibly can in the movement. Is we can try to be as isolationist and peace dealing of a country as possible, but at the end of the day, I don't think that should compromise or sacrifice American interests. Because if that does mean that we sacrifice or compromise on our interests, then chances are you and I or whoever else is living here, right? You probably can't drive that same gas guzzling car at that same price that you're used to. The grocery store will probably have higher inflated prices than you're used to. There will probably be a lot of other social and economic issues that come with it. So it's not as black and white, I think, as some people would like it to seem. But at the end of the day, if you were to ask me, I think the U.S. is by far a force for good in the world. If you look at the technology, the innovation, some of the things that have come out of this country, I don't think any other country in human history has produced anything like it. And our competitor, like China, they reverse engineer a lot of the stuff that we have already produced to try to keep up to par with what we already have, aka some of the defense technology, the equipment. And I think we need to do a better job in kind of, one of the things we didn't really discuss in the space. Last thing I'll say is that the 600,000 Chinese students here in this country, while some of them may be in good faith actors, and I certainly hope that most of them are, uh, you know, uh, they have been known to send secrets back, trade secrets back to the Communist Party of China after working or getting jobs at defense contractors. And so if you look at, for example, the fifth generation Chinese fighter jet, it's basically a reverse engineered variant of the F-35. And one of the person that actually leaked it was a former employee of Lockheed Martin. So, a Chinese national who was working for Lockheed Martin. So there are some serious issues that we have to sort out here. I'm all for kind of, vetting and figuring out who we want in and who we don't want in. But at the same time, I also don't think that America can truly afford to be completely isolationist in nature. Because if we do, we would have to sacrifice and compromise on our quality of life and standard of living. So that's all I got to say. Thanks. Go back to the discussion. Thanks.
I just add to what he said. Something that I think is often missed too is that even if we want to be peaceful and we don't want to engage with the rest of the world, they don't care because a lot of these communist countries or dictatorships, they are about expansionism. They want to expand and they want to control and they want to overtake whoever is in their way. And so sometimes it's not really up to us about what happens because we have to push back on other countries that feel the need to expand, right? Like China wants to expand. Like all of the things that they do in this country, the spying and the foreign influence ops and whatever the destabilization and all of these things like TikTok, all of the various ways in which they try to influence us and destabilize us from within, demoralize our population. That's not just like for fun. That's because they want to weaken us so that they can be stronger, so they can overtake us. And so sometimes I don't think we have a choice. Sometimes I think we have to um, engage and come from a position of strength. That's what it means to be a world power. Listen, do I like all the war? No, there's a lot of things we did wrong foreign policy wise, and there's a lot of things I still think we're not 100% doing correctly on foreign policy. It's just the reality, no matter who's president. But I mean, I don't know. I sleep much better at night knowing Donald Trump is president than I did when Joe Biden was president. I'm being honest, just from a security and safety standpoint, and from knowing that at least the president um, will act and protect American interests first and foremost, no matter what. So I don't know. That's just me, though.
No, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. And that's kind of what I meant, Barbie, when I said the earlier, like 95-5 versus 65-35. Like it might be, some people might see it as 65-35 Trump over Biden, but that's still your absolute decision goes that way. Like there should be no hesitation. Even if it was 51-49, you pick the 51, right? There's never going to be a 49. And I don't see anybody on that side of the aisle that does anything but contribute to us being the problem as more so than us being a solution. And maybe I'm just upset with the fact is what I'm seeing coming from the left and how it's
No, you're right. You're right. And I can give you one example, the border. The border is reason enough for us to say that this presidency was successful. Just the way that President Trump has handled the border, the fact that it is completely sealed. For all the people who are very upset about what's happening, which everyone should be very upset about what's happening, about the human trafficking, about the deaths and destruction. That a lot of it came from our southern border. Cartels made, I don't know, quadruple the amount of money under Biden. I forgot the exact numbers, but it was something insane. I remember reading about it in Breitbart. It was like 500 billion. I don't know, something crazy, like 500% increase in revenue under Biden, because everybody who crossed the border was getting cut. And that's such an important thing. No one even talks about it anymore. It's like a given. Oh, our border's completely sealed and nobody's crossing over. Whereas before it was like a flood. Like you couldn't even get it together because we didn't even know who was coming in the country, if they were on the terrorist watch list. Like if you go back and listen to congressional hearings from that time frame, and they were trying to get information from Mayorkas and all these other people, they couldn't even tell you if there was people on the terrorist watch list that had crossed over, or where they're located in the country right now. That's how bad. They stopped DNA testing at the border, which means that anybody could bring an unaccompanied minor child with them, which, by the way, there are really no instances where an actual unaccompanied minor child would make the trek and cross the border alone. Okay. I have a hard time believing that there's any instance where that is actually a valid, real thing and not a trafficking thing.
Well,
So,
and they quit verifying papers too. And that was a big thing because I have a friend of mine who is USCPB at one of the checkpoints in California. And they said they literally just count. They were given the instructions because they had a quota to meet that they would literally just count the number of people in the car. And if they said who they said they were, then that's who they were. And that is it. They wouldn't verify paperwork or who was in the car with them, anything like that. Just get them through, get them through, get them through, because that's what their orders were.
That's something they
and no
need to
matter
give
what Democrats
Mayorkas.
tell you,
I'm sorry, Barbie, what'd you say?
I was just gonna say, no matter what Democrats tell you right now, to placate their base, they're gonna open the border right back up because they need voters. I'm so sorry, but we have been proven that that is what they were doing. They needed to get more voters because they're having a hard time actually getting votes from American citizens, which I understand, because who wants to live in crime-ridden, like, hellholes that are completely and totally deteriorating because the people in charge of those places don't give a damn about their citizens. They just don't give a damn. Can't think of any other reason why somebody like Brandon Johnson, would go and like do press conferences about how putting in any help in Chicago is a bad thing, when they just had like 50 people were shot last weekend. 50 people. Like, it's out of control and they don't care. And so that's what leads me to believe that I'm not talking about Democratic voters. I'm talking about the Democratic Party, the institution, and the people who they place in politics. Uh, if they don't get it together and do better, we're going to have a problem, because I actually think we need a two-party system. We need two strong parties that can oppose each other in a real way, because that's how the best ideas come to light, right? If you only have one party, it's going to deteriorate too. But right now, the Democratic Party is such a joke that they're not actually real competition. My only fear these days is that our own party, our own movement is going to eat itself instead of getting it together and winning the midterms. The Democrats are not a threat right now. They're just not. They're insane, and they continuously prove that they're insane.
Well, Barbie, let me ask you a real quick question. And one, you make a good point about how looking out of California, though, if you notice that, and I get why Newsom wants to redistrict. I mean, if you look at, they showed a map, I think it was 21 to 2024, how it is getting redder out there in that state, which was kind of interesting. But and going back to one quick point you said earlier, also as far as immigration, people wanted Trump to come in and get the immigration thing under control, start reducing the numbers, start getting those numbers down. Trump didn't get the numbers down. They literally went from hundreds of thousands of people crossing the border to blap, none, over, like just like that. I mean, well, yeah, but it took some time. I mean, just like that. Yeah, but it did take him. Yeah, it was. It was just
days.
like that. The guy got. I mean, not reducing it. It was gone. I just thought that it was impressive. That alone is something that everybody should preface their, like, if Trump does something you don't agree with, I get it, but that ought to be in the back of your mind. J6ers ought to be in the back of your mind. These things ought to be in the back of people's minds when you say, look, maybe if he did everything else that I liked, maybe he's seeing something here that we're not seeing. Maybe, and again, I'm just playing devil's advocate to both sides, but it's like, maybe he sees a way out of this that we don't see. Maybe oh my God, maybe he has, access to information we don't. Maybe there are some people that are giving him bad information, right? So I just think that it's almost like just kind of lean one way. I don't understand how people have leaned completely the opposite way, and because that would put you on the other side. It blows my mind. I don't get it.
I mean, I think it's information warfare. I don't think they actually have access to the right information or understand like what's happening, because I can tell you, I saw one of those protests in my area this weekend. I mean, it was really funny. There was like 10 people and they were all like ages 65 to 80, and with obnoxious like "F you Trump" signs, to the point where my kid, who's like barely knows how to read, goes, "Mommy, that's a bad word." I was like, "Yeah, that is a bad word. You shouldn't say that word." But it was so ridiculous and embarrassing for them, but that's what it is. It's such a divide because of the abolish ICE, their sign said. Like, what are you talking about, abolish ICE? Like, what is your problem with ICE? By the way, ICE is like majority employed by like Hispanics who work their butts off. Okay, they're the demographic you're trying to covet, right? You love the minority, the identity politics, except when it's ICE agents, right? Then it's like, down with ICE, let's dox them, let's attack them, let's harass them. It was like, how long ago? 2 months ago, when what's his name, Jeffries, or one of those idiots, I forget. I think it was one of those communists, Raskin. I don't know, one of those two. We're trying to dox ICE officers on national TV. That's what I'm saying. We're really at a point where one party has kind of gone off the deep end, and it's our responsibility to not follow suit, because that's why things are devolving into chaos, in my opinion, because we don't have a sound two-party system. Because the moment when these people decided to try to unseat a duly elected president with Russiagate, where they tried to literally overrule the will of the American people, that was the moment when everything went to hell in this country. They crossed every single line that ever existed. They obliterated it with Russiagate and everything that we found out since then. And it's like, now it's very hard to go back to anything that resembles sanity.
Barbie, if we could just get the ICE agents to not wear masks, that's going to fix the issue. I mean, I don't understand why people can't see it. It's the masks, not the COVID mask, and not the protest masks, and not of course not the riot masks, and not the anti-Israel, anti-Palestine, not those masks, and not the "we hate Trump" masks, and not the trans masks, of course. Those are not the masks. I'm talking about those ICE masks, right? Those are specific ICE masks. You gotta get rid of them. You can't trust. You can't do it.
They got an issue with the mask, Mike. I didn't see that
No,
one.
it's the eye. Yeah, it's those,
It's always
they
the
want to
mask.
dox
those
them.
ice masks.
Right.
It's those ice masks. Stephanie, jump in there. Some people.
I'm sorry, before she goes, I
Yeah.
just read an article in Politico where there's a group in the Netherlands, like some NGO, by the way, that is trying to unmask and dox American ICE agents from the Netherlands, like using AI. And I read this, and I read it twice, because I was like, what the hell is wrong with people? Like, what makes you wake up and think that is what I'm going to spend my time doing?
What if ICE agents? What if on their masks it said COVID mask? I mean, would they be able to kind of skirt that thing if it just said COVID mask? Like, you couldn't really.
No, they just would need to wear one of the do nothing piece of shit doily masks that the virtue signal masks that they wore during COVID. And guess what? They're going to be everyone's
I'm just saying, if
besties.
it was a Ukraine or trans mask with the word COVID
Oh,
on it, then all of a
yes.
sudden it's like you get to keep it on.
Or it's a fist. It's a fist. It's a Ukraine
Just throwing it
flag
out there.
or the trans
See,
flag.
Savvy, that's the thing about, we're cousins. See, we're trying to fix problems.
We get
You
it.
see what I'm saying?
We get
We're
it.
bringing
I just
we're
think
bringing
Trump should
solutions.
come out in favor of abortion, in favor of masks, in favor of trans kids, and then Democrats would be opposed to it. And just end all of it. Literally, whatever he says, they will say the opposite, no matter what. The people
Well,
in
we
power.
thought he did that
Take
with
the ear piece
illegal
out.
immigration and like murderers and rapists and child we thought that that would never work with that, and it did, and somehow or another they make it seem very clear that they're for not any of those things. Like, it's so, I don't know if Trump has trolled them into these stances that they're in, but
They're fake outraged. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
mind numbing that they go against whatever he says. I think he ought to go against Christmas. I think Trump needs to go against all the things we love in order to bring all those things
Oh,
back.
dear Lord.
Throwing it out there. I'm
Well,
all about
hey,
solutions.
not only do we have the sexiest voice on X, or the face on X, but we have the voice here. Alpha just joined us. Feel free to
Bro,
jump in.
I'm the host of the damn space, bro. I thought you were throwing it to me. Like, what are you?
Oh, yeah, you have the best face. You have the sexiest face on X. But you know, Alpha, as soon as he starts, hello everybody,
Go
then
ahead,
people
buddy.
are gonna be like,
Go.
oh, Alpha, have my babies. Like we hear it all the time.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna give Alpha a proper introduction. Let me go to Stephanie first. She's been waiting for a
Okay.
while, and then I'm gonna make Alpha wait, cool down, and just realize he ain't all that.
Oh my God. Now I feel like that's like a major
Too bad,
yeah.
Steph. Too bad. Just deal with it.
My voice does not compare to Alpha's, but I'll try. So the thing is, okay, first of all, Mike, what you said is absolutely correct. It's like, number one, we do not know everything. There's no way we know everything. For everything that we know or we think we know, there's 10 things behind the scenes that Trump knows, that the administration knows, that we will either never know or we won't know until later. And I'm not saying that, oh, we should just trust the government blindly. We should sit back and take everything they decide. But this is the thing. And I guess I'm a big picture type of person. um First of all, we saw what it looks like to have our government be against us, the Biden regime and Hillary and Obama's and the Clintons. I have more faith in Trump and the administration now. I'm not saying everybody's 100% good. There are bad people in there, but I don't believe that as a whole, he or they are against us. Like everything they do is to spy on us and to find out things to use against us. Okay, yeah, down the road somebody can. I have to have faith that what Trump is doing right now, it's putting things in order for down the road so that we are protected, because he came in after he was elected this time. He came in hot. He's doing things in hyper speed. It's almost hard to keep up with, and I think that's part of why people are kind of going crazy. They can't handle seeing things happen. We want things to happen now, but when they do and they happen quickly, it's almost like too much. Trump has given all these cities, all these blue cities that are war zones. Okay, and in case you don't think they are, go spend some time in one. I, they can turn around fast, just like the border. Chicago used to be very safe, and things like that. So I guess, okay, let me back up. What he is doing right now is putting things, the pendulum has to swing the other way. So he's putting things in motion so that all these other big things that are going to happen are going to be happening. It's like you got to get the foundation and things prepped, like the prep work, right? So when you cook a meal, you got to get the sous chef and all these things in order to get the meal together. Um, I just, Palantir, Space Force, all these things are there to harness whatever's already in place. All this information, everything that's out there that they have on us, or the things that you've done. I mean, we have 20 years of our information that's already in databases. Okay. Palantir is there to harness it. Somebody's got to take control of it. So anyway, that's what I see. Um, Everybody maybe chill a little bit. The world's not going to end. I think Trump is good, and I think that we have a lot of good things on the horizon. Um, but the noise. The other side is going to do everything they can to try to twist our brains and make everything a panic. And yeah. Does everybody feel better now? You're welcome.
I'm so better. I'm so zen and calm right now, Steph. Thank you. I love
Sam,
you.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so I guess that was Alpha's introduction then, cuz.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Let me give you a proper intro. Hey, Alpha. I'll be right back.
Okay.
That
What's
was
up, Alpha?
that was absolutely perfect. Listen, you got the sexiest face with Mike, and you have social media sex symbol with Chad. At least let me have the voice, Mike. Let me have the voice.
Y'all not giving the girls up here any
And they
love,
never
have it?
will, Steph. It's fine.
Well,
It's
for the record,
fine.
Steph, when us guys compliment each other, it's second to every woman that's in here, anyways. So we're the guys here. We're fighting over the scraps from each other. So let us enjoy the crumbs.
What does scraps mean?
Those are little
Scraps.
things that you don't eat. You
Yeah,
give to the hogs.
Oh,
when you take your plate to the sink and the stuff you put down the garbage disposal, that's what
we
we're
didn't.
fighting
I
over.
wasn't allowed to leave any of those. Military dad wasn't
Oh,
allowed. But
oh.
anyway, go ahead.
No,
Scrap Alpha.
is USA the world's problem or solution? We're most definitely part of the solution, hands down. Deep state is definitely the world's problem. And if you look at what President Trump and team has accomplished in 7.5 months, I mean, if he would have took all 4 years to accomplish what he did in the last 7.5 months, I think it's absolutely phenomenal. So that's my take on that. And to Stephanie's point of everybody panicking, I think people panic because they listen to a lot of voices on social media that don't know what they're talking about. A lot of people want to go
Louder for the people in the back.
a lot of people want to go and keep breaking the fire alarm and putting the sprinklers on, and there ain't no fire. So I think what people need to do is first is analyze and assess what's in your local community, and you'll see that 7 out of 10 times the stuff you're seeing on social media doesn't even have a reflection in your local community. And then understand that when you're on these social media apps, that it's not just a social media app. This is this application, and the other ones as well, Facebook, Instagram. They're all designed to push agendas and narratives from almost everybody. Now, in the mix of that is people trying to have fun, but these applications are warfare. This is irregular warfare. You have plenty of people with military notoriety that have shared that. And so I would just tell people, if you understand that, it'll be a little bit easier not to get duped into it. And then just remember, everything that everybody kept saying, oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. This is going to happen. Trump's going to do this and Trump's going to do that. Never happened. And we're sitting on an absolutely phenomenal spot. We have border security. You have the cartels designated as foreign terrorists. And you saw yesterday dropped a freaking hellfire missile on these narco traffickers, which they have never experienced before because they were never designated as terrorists before, and put out a perfect post explaining the difference on that earlier today. So I'll tell people, go to his account and go read that. Why is that important? Because, for those that care about the kids, for those that care about drugs, or those that just care about weapons trafficking, all those things are done by the same people. The routes are traveled by the same people. The logistics is done by the same people. So when you saw those narco traffickers' boats get taken out, those are the same guys that are going to be doing human trafficking and weapons trafficking. So those are less criminals we have doing that. So absolutely love the war that Trump has against the deep state. And then over the last couple of years, Trump got, he got sandblasted over his position with Operation Warp Speed, COVID, and the vaccines. And a lot of us kept saying, just wait. And everybody kept saying, he needs to come out and apologize. We said, that absolutely makes no sense. Why would he do that? It's political suicide. And now what do you see him demanding? Hey, I'm learning that information that was provided to me is not adding up here, and I want the information now. Why is that the case? Well, if you look at it, he's positioning the attack against big pharma. So I absolutely love what the president's doing. Absolutely, laugh my ass off when I see people on here panicking, because I think this is the greatest time to be alive. And I can't wait to see what's coming, because China's fighting its deep state, Russia's fighting its deep state. There is a sovereign alliance that's being formed. And I can't wait to see the way this unfolds. Things are going to get a little spicy.
Before I drop, I just want to say, now more than ever, with everything Trump is doing, I feel more safe when the aliens do land, that we are going to be okay.
Well, think about it this way, Steph, is for everybody that wants to trash on Trump, they didn't feel safe trashing on the government to the level that they're doing now when Biden was president, because they were like, someone's going to knock at my door and we're going to get hauled away in cuffs. Now people want to make those remarks against President Trump, but it's like, well, obviously, if you're speaking in that form, people are even talking about, let's protest again. So obviously, even as haters have to acknowledge, by the very things that they're trying to rile their forces to do, that Trump has made this a safer environment. Period. Full stop in the story.
I meant the UFO aliens, not the illegals.
We just need to know what caliber. Let's stop the bullshit.
Don't get Alpha started on the alien talk.
Sorry.
Okay? Please.
You just have to take their helmet off. They can't handle our sun.
Sasquatch and Bigfoot are real.
Oh my God. Chad, don't.
303 is going to cut it. If you want to stop them, you got to use 303 or better.
Or silver bullet
Yes.
if it's a werewolf, and a snake if it's a vampire.
Fellas.
Vampires
All
are
right.
horny.
Okay. Oh, who has their hand up? Because I'm having to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Scroll all the way.
Maze does, and
Maze
Southern
does?
does too.
Oh, Southern. We haven't heard from Southern, and then we'll go to Maze. Go ahead, Southern.
Okay, I'm going to apologize for my voice. I have COVID. But I just was listening. I wasn't going to jump in, but um, just a couple things. When it comes to Palantir, Alex Karp runs Palantir. Peter sits on the board, but they're basically a data mining company. We said the same thing about Google. What does Google do? They capture all fresh content. That's how you place your SEO, which I have to live in now again. And Palantir is representative of that. Elon is also part of Palantir with XAI. Of course, we have Warren Buffett as a huge investor, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, etc. Fortunately, they have a fiduciary responsibility, and that kind of keeps a guardrail. But like anything, we all benefited from our 401ks, investments, etc., etc. But the thing I really wanted to bring up is about the children. With the border shut down, this has kept children from other countries being farmed out to sponsors. This has really cut back on child trafficking. It's good and bad. The good news is it stopped it. Two, it stopped the flow of money, and that's where it kind of elevates to a bad thing. They are now looking for small children in our country, so we just need to be hyper aware. They will try to find inside the US and not just depend on the borders as their main flow. But it has stopped it, and that's cut a lot of funding for, like Insurrection Barbie and all. We're talking about the NGOs. I did a huge deep dive on these NGOs. The more I found, we're talking over decades, decades of years where our tax dollars have been utilized to keep us in a box and play with the Democrats as the omnipotent power. But the politicians aren't in control. They're elected members, they're puppets for the people above. We call it deep state or international syndicate, that etc. But we are like Chad is the tourniquet. He's stopping the bleeding. Which is a ton of money, but it's also positioned us to get control of these funds. But one thing I've learned in business or government or anything, there is no vacuum. I read some articles which terrified me. Hillary, Chelsea, and Bill Clinton are speaking in front of the UN because our country is not taking care of humanitarian needs around the country with basically the shutdown of USAID. Soros is involved, all the big bad boys are involved, like Neville, all of them. Because the UN, you can play in the international box, and they're the ones that built the 2030 plan for what we would look like as a country, which is not where we want to be. But the scary part about these NGOs is they go to one NGO, then they go to another. Those funds are now fungible. We cannot prove where they came from or who donated the money. And that's how they've been able to hide all this money. So a lot of that's been cut back, but we still have this issue because there is no vacuum, because we have a lot of billionaires out there who do not want their power taken away, their economics, they don't want that taken away. They have moved into their bubble where they think they're entitled. And we have to continue to push this and manage this. I'm praying that we end up with another MAGA president because I think we need 12 years to really make a huge dent. What Trump has done is exposed it and has put tourniquets on it. We see it because we're on X, we're educating each other, we're doing the deep dives, we're learning from everyone, but it's not getting out to the mainstream because it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming knowledge because we're talking a ton of years. I went back to find the first NGO. It was during the fall of Rome. All the wealthy, the military, the leadership, and the head poobahs, they rolled their money into monasteries. Who were the writers of the time? Monastery. So they were the ones writing. They were like the first press. And that's where the money went. This is why they have so much generational wealth globally. But we are fighting something that's been in forever. It has been used against us in a very weaponized way. But now we see it. Trump is very good about getting in front and talking about it. He has an incredible cabinet, finally, because what he had in 2016, they were doing everything to keep him boxed in. We're seeing Trump at his best, and I support him 150%. Do I know everything? No. But I trust what he's doing because the Democrats want him to fail. Why? Because they don't want us to succeed. And that is as simple as it is. But also on ICE, Tom Homan cannot live with his family. They're not safe. A lot of ICE agents' families are not safe. They need to wear the mask. George Soros bought over 200 radio stations. That is coming up under FTC for review because it was an illegal deal, too much percentage of ownership. So we might be able to put some tamping down on that. But he's been using those radio stations to tell people where the ICE agents are, so immigrants won't go in the area. So we still have big forces and money trying to try to rip out everything we've tried to make a step forward. But if we continue to keep moving forward and get the message out and educate, but I'm praying that Trump does his national convention for the midterms because we need to have that same energy.
Did I lose Southern?
I thought it was just
I
me.
thought it was
Oh,
just
thank
you.
God.
Oh, I thought it was just me as usual.
Well, because everyone started throwing up like, oh my gosh,
I know.
emojis. And I was like, what is she
I
saying?
know, same. I'm like, "Ooh," but I didn't want to do the thing where like, can y'all hear her or whatever? But I kind of felt like I had to. Oh, hey, Grant. Now we got both Cardone brothers here. Hi, guys.
Oh, I'm gonna be rich. Let's go.
What's better than one Cardone? Two Cardones.
Is that 20x
That's right.
or is it just still 10?
That's about as debatable as anything I could come up with right there, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Wait, does that mean Storm's in here somewhere too? I feel like because we're one or two Cardone appear, then Storm appears too. So I feel like he's in here somewhere.
He's in the back channels as always.
Knew it.
Are you going to be rich, Chad, because you bought a Powerball ticket for tonight?
No, I don't buy Powerball. I buy crypto.
Let's go.
Cash is trash, kids.
Gary, how many did you buy?
How many what?
Powerballs. The
Oh,
lot,
I never bought a Powerball in my life.
dude. Every time they get to $1 billion, I buy them.
Do you?
I bought $100 worth today.
Wow.
I'm convinced I'm going to win it one year.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, you most definitely need it.
dude.
I just can't contribute to it. I think it's a horrible scam.
Yeah, it is. It is. The problem is it really it takes money from poor people. You know.
Oh my God. And it pisses me off every time I'm trying to buy a pack of cigarettes that I have to wait for someone that's like, the guy's not like affluent and he's $27 on lottery tickets. It's unbelievable.
That's what it's gonna be like when I go to heaven. Everybody's gonna have to wait while I talk through some shit with the guy at the gate.
You think so, man? I
Yes,
don't think
sir.
he's going to listen very long.
Well, I think I get like 5 minutes, right? You get like one shot.
Nah,
I'm
I
prepped.
think 5 minutes is a long time. You ever heard anybody rant on one of these spaces for 5 minutes? It's a
Good.
long time.
It's an eternity.
That's a good
I,
point.
It
I'm
is.
trying to position myself to come in right behind Chad because there's no way I can piss off God after he hears what Chad's got to say.
But
It's
you
only
guys
a
are all going to
debate,
be
bro.
shocked.
It's not
You
God.
guys are going to be you guys are going to be shocked when you get up there and God's going to be like, "Sell me this glass of water,"
I can do it.
and He's going to rate you on your pitch.
You don't.
Yeah.
Clouds are dry. You need to water that. It's got to be very arid up there. I got water. You need it.
Wow.
That just happened.
I was on the phone call last Thursday with the bank, and I was negotiating time and rate with this bank on a fairly large loan. And the call was probably 45 minutes long. At the end of the call, guy says, pitch me the glass of water, because I guess he had seen one of my videos. He said, pitch me the glass of water. I said, not only will I pitch you this glass of water, I'm going to allow you to set the price for it at the end of it. And I guarantee you that you will buy the glass of water and set the price. And if I don't do it, I'll do the loan with you. And then I ripped on this guy for the next. We have it on video, by the way. They don't know I was videoing it, but I can't show it to the public because then the bank will get upset. But anyway, the guy offered me $250,000 for the glass of water by the time I was done. It was classic. It was one of my great stories from a lifetime.
The best story is the plane. You made them sell you a plane. That was pretty awesome.
Made him sell me what?
The plane. You called that dude that does all the
Oh,
planes.
yeah.
That shit was big dick badass. I mean, just saying, no, I need to buy this plane. I'm going to do it right now. And didn't you just throw the money in their account? And
I learned that move from my brother.
Damn, that shit was awesome.
Hey, Grant, speaking of your brother, you had a chance to watch that badass interview he did with Say Something Beyond on Sunday nights with Michael Mack?
No, I haven't seen it. Where can I see it?
Oh,
I'll
you need to
send it.
talk about that, Mike.
I know. I'll send it to you. It's a fan. I mean, Savvy's interview was awesome, but your brother's interview might have edged it out, bro.
Who was the interview with?
Me.
Savvy was the interview before you. Chavez was the first one, and then Gary was last week. And
who did Gary interview?
I interviewed Gary.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
got it. That's why you think it was a great interview.
I'd like to say it was probably more me. Yeah, but
would you rate it on a scale from 0 to 10? I'm not talking about Gary. I know Gary was great. I'm wondering how you were as an interviewer.
I got some things to work on. I have to lie. I can't lie to you. There's some. I need my questions to be a little bit more succinct. And
so you give yourself what, a 4 or 5?
Probably about a 7.
Whoa, 7's a good, dude.
No, it's natural talent. Yeah, the natural talent got it to a 7. I maybe 6.
Just undeveloped talent.
Correct. That's correct. But
Untapped
I'll send you the link. You can watch it. It's a long one. We sat there and talked. It's about 2 hours. So
that's good.
The link is in the nest.
Oh, it is. See, Shane did the thing with the thing.
Yeah. Did you ask questions about me?
Oh, he brought you up. Said some things that that most people don't realize about y'all, and things that like the common man, the normal person who just like interacts with y'all may not know about y'all, and some things about growing up and things like that. It was.
Did he tell you about the time? Did he tell you about the time he hit me with the gun?
He got to that part. Well, I can't. You know what? I can't, bro. I can't.
I was about to say.
I can't do that. That's a
people need to go watch it.
People got to go watch it.
Did he tell you about the time we were walking on the tracks, on the railroad tracks, and we had loaded 22?
I'm not going to confirm or deny
22 caliber rifles, and we were actually shooting over each other's heads.
I will not confirm nor deny that story. I will not. Yeah.
So you're saying you're a bad shot?
No, if we were bad shots, we'd have killed each other.
Oh, okay.
Did he tell you about the time when he took a 1983 green Oldsmobile Cutlass and cut down probably 50 stop signs and speed limit signs in Lake Charles, Louisiana?
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Did he tell you about the time? Well, I can't even tell you guys this one. This one's like.
So you're saying you want to come on, say something beyond?
You know which one I'm thinking of, Gary. Gary, you know what I'm thinking of right now that I said I can't say?
Twin telepathy?
Yeah, me and Gary definitely have telepathy.
For sure.
Gary knows exactly what I'm thinking of right now.
If it was a 357 Magnum in Beaumont,
that's right.
Sulphur,
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Let's go, Gasoline Alley.
I knew you knew what I was thinking about.
I need to party with the Cardones. That's it.
Yeah, that was when they were 15, though.
That's the part of the story he doesn't tell you is that it is unbelievable that we're both alive or not imprisoned. It's fucking amazing.
Actually. Did the Cutlass have 2 or 4 doors?
That's 2 doors,
bitch.
No, it had 2 doors, man. We could have.
No, bro. I had the O's. I was doing the Teddy move, dude. That thing was so heavy. Remember the guy I drove over? The guy that was going to do the Chuck Norris on my ass at midnight.
Michael Armator.
Yeah. Well, he ain't doing that shit ever again. Let me tell you.
To nobody.
Did you kill somebody?
Recorded space.
No,
I
this is
cannot
recorded.
Um,
confirm nor deny.
there we go.
Let's just say he's probably not
Gary,
pretty.
Gary, that green Cutlass, that was a 2-door or 4-door?
Okay, hold on, guys. The Cardone, I'm gonna break in here real quick. I would love to know about a 2-door, 4-door Cutlass. All right, but this space
Probably as
is
much as
about.
we
Hold
want to
on,
hear
no, no,
about
no,
it.
no,
You
no.
Get
Hold
confirm
on.
on
the
your
only
This
thing you're
space.
concerned about is real. The only thing you don't care about 2-door, 4-door. Okay, you know that.
Listen, I do because my parents had a
Hey,
Cutlass
I got some
Supreme.
booty in the back of that car. It was awesome.
Gary,
That's
that's what I was
good,
going to
but
say.
the
I
topic
The
of
only
the
thing
guarantee.
she cares
space.
about is the back door.
Oh, I muted everybody. That's right. I sure did. I ain't scared anything. The space is about the USA world's problems or solution. Please explain. So we have the Cardone brothers, and though a 2 and 4-door Cutlass Supreme is groundbreaking conversation, I want to bring it back to the title of the space for my cuz Mike. All right, so I would love to hear that from the two of you. And then we need to go to Crayon because he's had his hand up forever. All right, I'm unmuting. Love y'all.
Point of
But
information: a
the
four-door
title of the
Cutlass.
space.
So let me just interject you real fast. So Grant, you're saying you want to come on, say something beyond, and refute and add to some of the things that your brother said. Is that what you're saying?
Well, when you finally reach like a 9 or 10 interviewer, then maybe so.
Oh, that's like a week. That's like a week or two. What are you talking about?
What are you going to do to get better, though, dude?
I'm getting better right now. Just by I constantly think about it. See, I'm in
Okay.
practice.
Okay.
So I'm on the phone with Mandy right now, Mike, and today on the morning show, she actually said that interview was so good she watched it twice, and she especially liked the stories that you told about Grant. So Grant, you really need to listen to the interview, and I do think you need to go defend yourself, because she says now Gary's her favorite
Oh,
Cardone brother. So yeah, I think you need to do this interview, man.
just saying, just throwing it out there. I mean, by the way, you got to think, Grant. Though you might see me as a 9.5, right? I'm harder on myself. You see what I'm saying? So
It
Yeah,
was
no,
a fantastic interview.
I get that. I get that.
okay,
But
well,
you're 9 when you're hard. I get it.
I'll give you an opportunity to combat your brother's stuff. We'll set it up. It'll be fun. It won't be as long as his because he and I can talk forever. So
I like long interviews better than short interviews.
well, it's not really an interview. It was a conversation. You know, we talked about everything from about your dad.
Oh,
We talked about
you're
painting.
the one that called it an interview.
Yeah, well, that's a good call. Yeah, it was more of a conversation. Like I said, we talked about your dad. We talked about painting. We talked about we talked about all kind of stuff. It wasn't really a question and answer type thing. It was more just shooting the breeze. So that's yeah. We'll set it up. It'll be fun. You can tell us all the stories he didn't tell us. It's gonna be hard to top that Cardone interview, bro. I'm gonna tell you, it's hard to top Gary in that interview. It's woo. I'm telling you, it's freaking. It's a solid one. It's a solid one. We'll get him on there.
Mike, let me just remind you, no one came to hear any of this. We need to talk about the USA world's problem or solution. Explain, because you know
Thank you,
why?
Gary.
Because it's in the title,
Thank you.
and therefore it must be done.
Bitcoin's the solution.
Grant, let me ask you a question, Grant. Before we move on to the Solve America problem, I just want to know, I know that you being involved with Hollywood and being a celebrity and a really famous person, have you ever used salmon, egg, sperm for your
Stop,
cosmetic
Gary.
beauty? Or
Salmon,
any
egg,
other
sperm.
kind of sperm, by the
It's
way.
just salmon sperm,
For
not
what?
salmon egg
Have you
sperm, Gary.
For
It's
have
what,
you ever
Gary?
salmon
used any
sperm.
other sperm for your skin is so
God, I
good,
had a
Gary.
chance
It's
to end
always
this, and I just got baited into it.
You
it's
did.
always looking
Mike, I
so
tried to
good.
set it up for you.
You
Dude,
did.
I have
You
not
did,
used
Chubby.
I have not used salmon, egg, sperm yet. But
You're intrigued, aren't you?
if you
I know,
told me,
dude.
if Maze told me that salmon coming on my face would make my skin better, I would let it come on my face.
All
Dude,
right.
I'm with you, bro. I'd be right in
It
front of
doesn't
getting the
seem
first
All right.
load.
it doesn't seem
And here
fishy
we
to
go.
me.
I'm
It
thinking
doesn't.
I'm buying a ton. In fact, I'm going to build a salmon sperm
I'm
factory in
about
the
to have to
back of
boot
my
both
yard so I
products from
can
you
do my
guys.
cold dips in it, bro.
Somebody's gonna boot
Okay,
one
can
of
I
them.
just
You know
Somebody's
what
gonna
I'm
boot
please
saying,
two.
make a
Grant?
point
Huh?
here
Gary,
that
With
the
Gary,
state of
I
one
the
think
art
that's.
server
person
by the
I
that
think.
poolside.
was
I
complaining
think.
about the salmon sperm has
While
now
I watch my
circled back
Bitcoin
to it?
accelerate.
Gary, that's where I think Trump was not in the media for the last 2 or 3 days until yesterday because he was getting a salmon sperm treatment on
Trump,
his
he's
face.
a
Listen,
country,
Chad,
it's
again,
groundbreaking.
Chad.
Okay, it's
a
Are you
groundbreaking.
Trump
just gonna
Trump,
let this go, bro? I mean, what are
I
you?
a
did
cum
it. Chad
Trump.
didn't do anything.
Can you send me a link to the sperm?
Yes,
Heather
I'm the
can.
one.
She sent it to me for my birthday, and
Okay,
I
so
was
The name of your
life
business is
changed.
Little Swimmers Facials.
okay, by the way, I am the
By
one
the
that
way, I
sent.
like it live when it comes in the jar. I don't want it killed
Oh,
first. So I would rather it go live. Okay, like I like it wiggly.
How do you
I
I
just
have
want
jack
to
a
a
know
link
the
for
first
salmon
you
up?
if you
person that
want
tried
salmon
it.
sperm.
I just want to know the first person that decided they were going to take salmon sperm and put it on their face.
They were Asian.
They were. It's actually
Guarantee
Korean
it was a
skincare.
chick.
No, it's
Guarantee it
Korean.
was a chick.
Koreans called it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, Mike, I'm so glad that we were able to, interject some social humor in this. We will now allow you to get back on track, the anarchist that we are.
Grant, in the interview that we do, we will continue the salmon sperm conversation at that point. Check your DMs.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't live in. Okay, so hey, Crayon's got his hand up. Yeah, let's go back to a normal space. Here we go. Welcome everybody back. Down at the bottom right hand corner, repost the room.
They
And we'll
can't
get in.
repost it. They
Okay, I
can't.
can't either. Yeah, the space is glitchy bad. So we got about 30 minutes left, and then we'll start wrapping it up. Crayon, you had your hand up. Thanks for your patience, brother. How are you? Jump in there.
Doing well, sir, Mike, and also to Insurrection and Patriot. Thanks for having me up. Yeah, I guess trying to get us back on tack, see if I can't swing the pendulum the other way here. I am now just celebrated my 22nd year anniversary of no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And so when I see America kind of like leaning towards sometimes, maybe, messing up again abroad, I get a little concerned because I genuinely could tell you that I've seen how bad that can go. I'm kind of at a point now where we kind of need to just probably circle wagons just as a nation, fix things with our infrastructure and certainly keep our border secure. I'm happy on that front. But apart from that, yeah, I don't think we need to involve ourselves anymore outside of anything, that we are, anything, a Title V or something like that, where we had to, a NATO nation was attacked, obviously, or if I, that's something we would have to do, I think. But granted, that's never really been tested to the extreme. So, but my general consensus is post 22 years and no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq is to not involve ourselves directly in conflict anymore, rebuild our military, and get ready for the next war because the next one won't be the global war on terror. That era is over. The next one will be much more kinetic and it'll be conventional. And that's kind of just where I land on it, I guess.
Thank you, Crayon. Do any of our other militaries, so whether it's Alpha or Chad, do y'all have anything to add to that? No?
But
Going
but
once.
but is there any chance? I've always thought that Bush knew that there was weapons of mass destruction there because we provided them. Is there any chance that that's a reality and they got moved before that we got there? And that Bush couldn't tell the American public, hey, I know they're there because we gave them the weapons.
Well, I can only speak from my personal experience. So I spread load my experience with that over my two deployments. So my first one late 2004 and my second one across 2006, right up until, when I got out. I got out in 2006. And no, both times I looked, no weapons of mass destruction anywhere. Now, 2004, the fight was certainly much more kinetic back then. Um, as opposed to what it evolved to in 2006, the violence that would eventually lead up into the surge in Iraq. We were building towards that, but that was mostly very responsive in nature. Um, yeah, there were big fights going on in places like Ramadi and what have you, but it certainly wasn't being fought the way that we were fighting it in 2004. But at least in 2004, they were to an extent asking about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. When I got to there in 2006, it wasn't even brought up anymore. The country had continued to just devolve into sectarian violence, and there wasn't a plan for it. And there you have it. So I would just highly caution the reason that any president sends our forces abroad ever again. And it's got to be some real. I just got to come with the receipts, because I sat there and watched one of my childhood heroes in the form of Colin Powell stand up, kind of like display this whole vial, of the potential of WMDs, and there was a whole very deliberate um, publicly broadcasted on the news push toward this, and Colin Powell, a hero of the 91 Gulf War, and we got there and no, not a single weapon of mass destruction to be found anywhere. And when Saddam did eventually fall, yeah, okay, well, great, what happens? Well, the obvious is what happens. You uncork what he suppressed, and that's just the natural tribalistic, conflict that's going to occur in that region, regardless of whether or not we're there. But what I can assure you is when you're over there, the only thing they can agree on is that they don't want Americans over there. So I kind of taken up the space a lot, but that's kind of just where I am. So that's kind of my benchmark, honestly, in life right now. When I see America getting somewhat involved in things, it's just like, oh, just be oh so cautious, because you might think you're doing it for the right reasons, and I 100% bought into it when it happened, but I joined the Marine Corps in 1998, and like I was on a 50 caliber machine gun range in 29 Palms, California when 9/11 happened. Like I was there from the beginning of the war on terror. And I remember the national pride and, this absolute desire to go over and just, handle business because of what had happened to our country. But how that eventually evolved and then to weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and justification for what occurred, I've got a lot of questions, I guess is what I would say. And I understand the world moves on. The GWAT is over, but it's just people often say, kind of drop that, you know, piece of advice, that if you don't pay attention to the past, you're doomed to repeat it. I would just be so cautious, is all I could say. And I'll just leave it there. And thank you for your time.
The only thing I would add to that, you guys, is they absolutely weaponized our patriotism against us, for the benefit of a lot of things that definitely weren't America. Um, the intelligence agencies have, been a part of all that, not just the American ones, but all the intelligence agencies. But we also have to be careful now that we recognize that by just saying, well, we have no bone to pick anywhere else in the world, because they ain't got nothing to do with us. Because the understanding that that military industrial complex and the bankers are part of this big ultimate entity, these regime changes that have been taking place over the last couple of decades absolutely have our fingerprints all over it, along with others. And now, if we were just to say, hey, yeah, that's what happened, we're backing out of it, then it's only a matter of time of legitimately this stuff actually making its way to our borders. So, are we the world?
And I would just add,
Well, hold
I'm sorry, I would just add what, oh, go ahead. I would just add one more thing. There's a lot of Iraqis who are also 22 years into no weapons of mass destruction. And a lot of people forget that too.
yeah, that,
What occurred over there, it's a real thing, and it's it's a lot. So, and I think it's going to be a lot of subject matter, that I do with
it
this
is.
account.
And while we're
Yeah,
in Iraq, we fought a lot of people that weren't even Iraqis. But I did experience people that,
absolutely.
I was there from the beginning of '03. And we did get to experience a lot of people that didn't want us to leave. I mean, there were some that would have laughed their ass off if we died, and there were others that really did feel safe while we were there. But again, that has a lot to do with the regime changes and all that stuff that was put into place back then. But what I'm saying right now is we can't just say, hey, to each of these countries their own, because these regime changes that we were a part of, were done to such perfection that the populace doesn't stand a chance of overthrowing those regime changes, because that's how good the world intelligence agencies were at putting these things into play. And these people that think that they have leaders that would help them lead the revolution to take back their countries, those people are compromised. The same way we see it here in our country within the MAGA movement, the conservative movement, the Republican movement. This is a global problem. So there has to be a unified movement, a sovereign alliance, so to say, where everybody understands that this deep state has to be removed at its root. And once it's removed at its root, then nobody has any business telling any other country how to take care of themselves. But the thing is there is a problem that has taken over this world like cancer. And now that we realize it, we don't just get to say, well, we're going to ignore it and let it resolve itself, because it won't.
Alpha, let me ask you. Let me just jump in there real quick. So, and I agree with you about the deep state having to be uprooted. Like, and I think uprooted is a great word, right? It has to come from the bottom. My question is this though, and this is something, and I don't know if too many people consider this that often, but it still comes down to whether or not we believe it's been uprooted or not. How do we get when we? How do we know if we get to the point that it's been uprooted? So, for an example, would be, you know, how someone would say, you know, you posted in classrooms, you posted at football games, in the end zones, it says end racism, right? Sounds great. It's a great thing. Fight for it. It's great. But how do you? But what's the measure, right? How do we know when we've ended it, right? And the measure keeps getting moved. Like there's no really way to quantify that you've ever ended it. It just becomes this perpetual fight. And so when we talk about the deep state, how do like what are the measurables that someone can try to achieve or try to accomplish where you can say either we're moving in that right direction or we have actually uprooted the deep state in maybe a particular area or something like that?
I don't know the complete answer to that, man. Some markers that would show that we're definitely moving in that direction is when we stop seeing, world ideologies being spread into every country with nothing being pushed back against that. If you go back and look at COVID, you had the color coded pattern, and that was something that all the world countries were following suit in some form or fashion. So I think when you start to see that stuff to be eliminated, when you start to see cultures kind of represent what they actually look like in that area instead of countries trying to mimic other countries, I think those are showing signs that we're definitely gaining ground in that direction. And the other thing is, and it's a part that people don't like, is you have to have legitimate military intelligence that provides this kind of information, because you have the stuff at the surface level that we're going to get to see, but you also have to understand that there's the stuff that's beneath the surface. There's these shadow wars that take place, and the only way you combat that is with intelligence. The problem is our intelligence agencies have always been infiltrated. So the intelligence that we've always got is to push what they want. So you have to have a complete cleanup at the intelligence agencies, and how that's accomplished, I don't know, man, but it needs to happen.
It just seems like that. It just seems like that there's a sideways. It's like that. It's not up and down. It just seems like it's a sideways movement. For instance, like you look at COVID, and there's been some decent things that have been done in COVID. Some states, are saying these things are not mandated. There's been some movement in this where there was such an outrage nationwide, right? That there was actually a dent made in this thing. However, you take the pharmaceutical companies that are involved with this, they had the money to pay for whatever outrage comes their way. And it kind of goes to what Maze and I were talking about earlier with Palantir. Like if we had an opportunity to stop Pfizer in the middle of their tracks for doing something that is absolutely unethical to its core, all they did was they paid the fine, they shut their mouths, and they moved sideways. And so now another whole freaking entire war has to start up on whatever front they move into next, right? And so what I'm wondering is the government, FBI, CIA, it's almost like they just moved sideways, and you're not actually getting rid of this. You're just smashing it to the point where it bubbles up somewhere else. And is this just? And I guess I'm just frustrated because it seems like that we're in this middle of this perpetual fight that we can't get. And we see it because of accountability, right? Name someone who's been held accountable at anything, at any level. Someone can't do it because nobody is. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess maybe it's just my frustration speaking. Maybe you can hear that. I don't know. But does that make sense? Kind of what I'm saying about that sideways kind of bubble movement?
Well, it does, but you got to remember the vast majority of the American society doesn't have the knowledge or information that's talked about on these social media platforms. And so if you were just to do, direct assaults, which a lot of us want because we become impatient and it's warranted, Society wouldn't handle that. You would get chaos. And a lot of people are under the mindset, well, then let the whole system burn itself down and we'll rebuild. In reality, it doesn't work that way. Good people do good shit. And so if the whole system was to burn itself to the ground, good doesn't rise out of the ashes to take over. No, evil does, because evil knows what it's got to do to survive. And then there's a period of time that has to elapse before good people realize, okay, now good people have to do bad shit in order to take back control. In the interim of that timeline, which could be decades, a lot of innocence is killed. So when what you see as moving sideways, I see as this is warfare that's minimizing casualties. You're gonna have casualties. We're in a war. Everybody always wants to say we're in an information war. We're at war, but nobody wants to understand. Well, if we're at war, then understand the things that come with war happens, which means you're gonna have friendly fire. You're gonna have innocence that's lost. The key to war is to minimize that as much as possible as you get to victory. And I think these sideways steps are moving us into the positions that we need at the rate that needs to happen, that doesn't erupt in chaos in the public, where you still get to maintain the control of the court of public opinion, but you do it in a way that's safe. And that is the direction we're moving in. And I argue that no, I think we are seeing accountability happen. We are seeing arrests happen. We're not seeing it with the big names that we care about, but the big names are also not the ones that are kidnapping children. The big names aren't the ones that are doing the trafficking. They're the customers. And right now, what you're seeing is you're seeing the foundation of that deep state that's being ripped from them. You saw the defunding of USAID, the National Endowment Fund. You've seen all this come to the surface. FTX getting blown to the surface. MS-13 that's getting attacked. Trended Araga is getting attacked. The cartels being pushed. These are all the worker bees and instruments that the deep state uses. So what you're seeing is Trump is taking control and annihilating what the deep state needs to continue this. And when that's removed from them, and what are we seeing? We're seeing judges that are arrested. We're seeing the exposure of attorneys that were paid for and funded and campaigned by Soros. All this stuff needs to happen in order for us to get the answers we want. And it's everybody wants it done in a couple months. That's not reality unless you just want to see everybody get hurt. This is something that's going to take a long time. I think by the time Trump ends his presidency, we're definitely in a position where we're not losing ground, and we definitely have a better idea what we need to fix it. But people need to understand this is something that may take 10 or 20 years before we get it where we want. But we are seeing accountability. We're seeing the Russia hoax RICO case. We're seeing other RICO cases that are coming from that. That stuff's important, and we've never had that kind of level of transparency before. And for everybody thinks, well, we deserve to know everything now. No, you don't. You deserve results. If you want to know everything right now, then go sign up and be part of those institutions that are waging that war. But you don't deserve to have complete transparency while the operation's in motion, because then you jeopardize the lives of those people that are involved. So we deserve results, but we don't deserve transparency until it's done. And even then, it's still a limited scope of transparency that we're allowed to have.
Yeah, no, I agree. That makes sense. I appreciate that. I like your insight on that stuff. Um, Wanted to. I was going to give a shout out to somebody, but they're no longer in the room. We check in with my co-host real quick. The co-hostesses with the mostesses. Barbie, how you doing? You good? Any thoughts? I love freaking calling Barbie like out of the blue like that, because she's probably like playing with her kids or something like that. She's like, "Oh my god, I can't. Where's the freaking mute? I can't. Where's that microphone? I can't." It's okay.
Now, Mossad has hacked her
Oh,
system, like always.
somebody's going after her every single day. So I mean, eventually somebody.
And by massage, she means me on
That's
Or
Signal.
the
exactly
Yeah.
salmon. She's probably in a salmon treatment.
or a salmon treatment.
I'm
Savvy,
a,
Little swimmers. Facial.
Yes, I'm here.
what are your thoughts? What do you got going on?
I like
Watching
to think
a
I'm a
wrestling
Oh
show?
classy
no,
person.
I just went scorched earth on JB Pritzker. I was really proud of that post. And so, yeah, no,
So Trump
I'm good.
gave him an opportunity, right?
Oh, I
For a
know.
mutual, like, look, let's just freaking fix this. We can do this together. And he
I
just
know.
absolutely did nothing with it. Like he,
Even though people in Chicago, you should read my post. I'm really proud of that sucker actually. Yeah, no, he can F all the way off.
I mean,
I can't stand
TDS
that dude.
is so real by the day.
Oh my
It's
gosh, it really is. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, I'm really having a hard time understanding. Look, I get it. Look, there's been some people that make good points, right? Like if you bring in troops like this and you start putting, if the administration changes, does that open a window for other people to do anything? And like again, I can't think of something else that the troops would do in a city other than like, like helping with crime and people who do bad stuff. So it's like I can tell you that if I saw troops in my neighborhood, I actually feel pretty comfortable. Like I'm not going to be drinking and driving. I'm not going to roll anybody down. I'm not going to break anybody's house. I would actually, you'd probably go riding your bike and wouldn't have a look. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Bobby, how you doing, brother? And it's like, you see freaking Bobby from the National Guard, and I don't get it. Maybe am I missing something? Like I don't want to like infringe on people's rights and the Constitution, but it just seems like that if you're sending people in to get rid of
You would be.
crime, that's a good thing to
I feel like
send.
you were asking for somebody to chime in. So you're telling me if you saw troops rolling around, you would feel safe, and you think
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
see that's
Absolutely, I would.
Now I'm
Without
not.
Well, are
hesitation.
we
okay.
talking
So
National Guard? Or are we talking U.S. military? I want to clarify
Both.
troops. I guess why I had my hand up. I don't know
Both.
about active
Well,
Because
duty.
I
like,
respect
I
so
don't.
them
you guys
and
I don't want
want
to
a
put
militarized
military.
state?
I don't want to put
I'm trying to
military
understand.
on the ground, but I'm talking about if you had troops, state troops or whatever it is, National Guard or Texas State Guard down here or whatever it is, to go in to try to fix a certain problem, and they're there for a certain while. I don't. There's nothing about that would make me feel.
No, because you're a law abiding citizen. I would feel safe. I would feel like finally the president of the United States is listening to the people and he is helping us fix. If you
Well,
we can hold
Savvy.
on, because this is really important for
Woo,
people to
okay, hey,
understand.
I got you. I'm sure. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So what he did in DC, people don't understand, because it was more than just him like bolstering, right? He federalized the Metropolitan Police Department under Section 740 of the DC Home Rule Act, an unprecedented move. I'm reading straight from my post. And deployed roughly 800 to 2,000 National Guard troops and federal agents to take control of law enforcement in the capital. The result: crime metrics declined sharply. Robberies dropped 46%, carjackings plummeting 83%, and violent crime fell to 22% in a very, very short time. He greenlit a massive beautification and enforcement blitz in DC. He also announced a $2 billion congressional backed project to retop streets, fixing lighting, the beautifying the 3 mile radius from the Capitol, and backing enforcement and infrastructure. He launched a safe and beautiful emergency operations center to coordinate with federal agencies like the FBI and National Guard to make DC a model of domestic policy under his leadership. This is important also. Federal offices are returning to in-person work in Trump's directive. In DC, employees are working in the office up to 17 to 46%, while hybrid remote arrangements have plummeted, which is a huge it's oversight, it's discipline, it's efficiency in our federal operations. So when people are saying, "Oh, we don't need you," and yet you have the actual citizens of that city saying, "Please send help here," it's because of what they have seen in DC, and they know that President Trump does have their best interest at heart. Get rid of the crime. Get rid of the bad guys. Yes, if National Guard rolls up in the A, abso-fucking-lutely. Sorry, Mike, but this shit pisses me off, because this isn't a conversation for. I mean, look at all of our Democrat-run cities. They're absolutely garbage. Absolutely garbage. So you have someone who says, "You know what? FAFO. I'm going to show you how beautiful these cities and in our country truly are, but you're going to have to listen to daddy now because I'm in control."
The other important part of that, Savvy, that you
But it's
left
about.
out.
Can I just say something really quickly, because I was in the middle of saying something and I have to go. I apologize profusely, Alpha. I just want to say that I think that there's a data gap maybe, but I just don't. Where's all this crime in Oklahoma and all these other states? And I think that really people just want to understand, right? And I say that with genuine curiosity, because to me, and in looking at this, I'm like, wow, that's a pretty bold move to send it to all of these different states that don't have that level of crime. And I appreciate your perspective, but I think that the people that are asking about it are seeing that it doesn't seem justified in some of those places. Chicago, listen, I know Chicago can be crazy, but like there's just a lot of it's a mystery. There's a lot of mystery there.
Here to answer that question, Maze. I would tell everybody in here, go research in the United States the narcotics trafficking routes over the last 10 years, and you'll find plenty of images that outline those routes. And then go look at all the cities he named, and you'll see that every single city he named falls under
So you think this is all
walking
about
through.
trafficking?
And
Oh,
well, it goes beyond just the trafficking. Well, the narcotics trafficking, because it goes to what I said earlier with the attacking the traffickers. The same people doing the narcotics trafficking are doing the weapons trafficking, that are doing the
Yes.
human
And
traffic,
don't
that are
forget
doing.
about everyone that came across our border. They already had their marching orders to go into places that, for some reason or another, maybe they lean red, they lean
Well,
Republican, but they
this is
wanted to send them there for this very freaking reason.
well, here's the other important part, where people got to dig a little bit deeper. Not only those routes, a lot of those people that came across the borders, if you guys go and you research like states of California, the social services financial impact only went up just a little bit. And we know that somewhere between 12 and 30 million people came into this country. There should have been an exponentially greater impact to the social services program, but it wasn't. And the speculation that you can take from that, and this goes to what the police chiefs and sheriffs of America put out, this was in 2023, that and at that time, there was, and because it's probably more now, there was at least 2 million tier one threats that came through. So that means if you had this many people come through and they didn't rely on our state social services programs to finance them, that means it's probably because they already had arrangements here to take care of them, which is probably what a lot of this trafficking stuff is tied into. The other thing with regards to the Home Rule Act and Section 740 that you brought up, Savvy, and this is built into the law, is it's got a 30-day maximum. After this is not something that can run in like forever. After 30 days, the only way that it's allowed to continue takes Congress. Congress has to intervene. So come September 11th within DC, if Congress doesn't extend it, there's nothing else to do for that. So that's the other thing people don't understand. As these troops are deployed, there's already built-in sunset clauses for those deployments.
I guess the only other thing I have is, so, there's a reasonable, I guess, anxiety that people have because if we're talking about the everyday person that's not an ex, that doesn't know anything about, like, they're sitting here wondering, why are we having military come in? And let's just say it is true about the trafficking and whatever. I think ultimately that does cause a level of anxiety. And to your point, Mike, earlier, when you're saying what's the divide, why is there such a unimproved, like this, I don't know, what is it, dissatisfaction rating or whatever the poll, it's because people just don't understand. And it's scary when we're seeing all of this stuff with Palantir. We're seeing a lot of things beginning to take shape. It really does feel like there's something deeper, not blaming the administration, not blaming whatever, just objectively looking at it. It just feels like the answers we're getting don't match what we're seeing. And so that's where sometimes the confusion comes in and people can get a little bit nervous, like, what's really happening behind the scenes.
I agree. I agree with you, Maze. I think that there's a lot of issues that we're not getting answers on. I'm just speaking like raw when I say that I don't worry about getting a ticket. Well, that's a horrible example. I do worry all the time about getting a freaking ticket. So because I really do go fast. But for people that don't go fast, like they don't have to worry about a cop being on the side of the road. I do, right? So if I lived in Chicago in certain areas, I would be extremely thankful. Like the people, like they did that big documentary about the people. They interviewed those people down in where Bukele is in El Salvador. And those people were freaking almost in tears. They would go outside their house and smoke a cigarette with freaking troops, like literally out in the streets. And like they absolutely loved it. I'm not really comparing the two straight one to one. But I'm saying is that if I lived in a city that suffered that badly, and there are some areas of this country that are horrendous, I can't see a scenario where that's a bad thing. Now, even if it has to be temporary, right? Even if it has to be, you're able to, bring them in for a certain period of time, have to take them back out, bring them in for a certain period of time. People will start to see these trends. When we send them in, it goes down. When they leave, it goes back up. How do we fix
The
that?
crime, though, is there a big crime? Like, that's what I want to know. I want to understand because there, to be honest with you, I'm not one of those people that gets really excited when I see fucking cops. Okay. That's just me. But at the end of the day, if it was a security issue, that'd be one thing. But have you ever, I don't know, the country that I come from, it was literally under martial law. Seeing troops in your fucking neighborhood was not a good thing, right? You literally had curfews. It was extremely, you know, what I would say, it's just very scary. It's very scary. A military taking over is completely throws people out of the norm. And I'm saying, it's great that you guys have an optimistic view around it. I just think that there are, what are we measuring? Are we measuring where are they putting these people? Are
Give
they
what city are you most
me?
concerned with, Maze? Yeah.
No, it's not just sorry, there was a feedback. There's 19. I'm just saying, why do all of these states that don't really have the same crime rates that are being alleged need to
Well,
be
are you also
militarized?
looking like per capita in those areas too? You need to take that into account. And I mean, there are any number of, I'll do some research for you because this is kind of one of my favorite things. And I will get back to you because I will have answers.
I appreciate that. See, people can have dialogue. It doesn't have to be polarized. I really
Oh,
think
yeah.
Argue. I want more argument.
No, Maze and I
do.
never, we literally never argue. And we could have people on both ends of the spectrum. And Maze and I are just like, hey, girl, love you. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that sounded gay. But
I'll send her a heart while she's cussing me out.
speaking of,
I do the same thing to her. I'm like, I'm so angry, Maze, blah, 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 but here's a heart.
speaking of gay, Heather has her hand up. See, my transitions don't work as well as Mandy's.
Hashtag no homo.
Hashtag a little homo. Go ahead.
And every single time I tell Savvy I love her, which is all the time, I always have to end it with hashtag no homo. So, no, when Savvy was talking about crime in Democratic, I think it was her saying the crime in Democratic cities. I just like to point out statistics that the top 10 cities in America with the highest crime rates are not mayored by Republicans. And I'm saying that specifically because all 9 of them are Democrats, while one of them is an independent who is left leaning and was endorsed by Democrats. The top 10 fatherless cities in the country are all mayored by Democrats. The top 10 cities with the highest rates of poverty are all mayored by Democrats. So it's like when you look at, I hate it when Gavin Newsom brings things out like, well, look at the red states. Well, guess what? The governor of Louisiana is completely open to having help. Whereas people like Pritzker, whatever the F his stupid ass name is, of Illinois, is not open to it. And so, like, we don't say that our side is perfection by any stretch of the imagination. But when you look at the numbers and the fact that our side is willing to help, because guess what? New Orleans, governed by a Democrat, hasn't actually in modern history doesn't have any sort of Republican mayor that has ever run that city. And the governor is the one that is hopefully going to turn that city around. Now, if you look at cities like Fort Worth, Texas, for example, that was mayored by Democrats for decades. In the early 90s was taken over by Republican mayors. Their crime went down. Their education went up. Like, it is not hard to look at these statistics, and I know this because I was researching it for something. That's why I'm not just like an encyclopedia of numbers. I happen to look into this because I lived in California and watch what Newsom says like a hawk. And every single one of his talking points is garbage, and it always points to things that, should the person he's talking to, if they just looked into it a little bit, they could fact check him, because Gavin Newsom is a sorcerer with words, and he can make a turd look like a gold bar, and he does it constantly. And I sit there and I watch him mince these words, and I watch the people. He's been on they did a podcast with Charlie Kirk. He went on the Sean Ryan show. I watch every single effing podcast that Newsom goes on, and I never see people push back with actual facts. They let him get away constantly with this rhetoric that is not true. You are not governing a state that loves what you're doing when you have the first population decline in history under your watch. And so, like, you know, when we're talking about cleaning up these cities and pointing the fingers red and blue, look at the numbers. It's really not difficult. Now, are there shitty cities mayored by Republicans? Sure, there are. But compare it to what is happening on the left and on the right. And typically, we come out smelling a little bit better with much room for improvement on all fronts. But again, if you just look at the numbers of how this is happening, and again, and I'm pointing to the two governors of Louisiana and Illinois and the way that they are both responding to the potential for help. One side likes to use their constituents as collateral to virtue signal, while the other side is able to put their ego down for a minute and say, you know what? We need a little bit of help because what we're doing isn't working. And so, sorry, tangent, didn't mean to soapbox, but that's what I got.
You and Savvy, I'm not, nobody's going to interrupt you and Savvy when y'all start. No, we got it. It's like, no, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks. All
Hashtag
right.
no homo.
No homo. I
Hashtag a
love
little
you.
homo. Tell them.
No, no homo. All right. We're going to do a rapid fire 1 minute round for everyone in the speaker panel. If you have something to say, we're going to.
That was kind of gay.
Your face is gay.
Fact check, true.
Gay adjacent.
Gay adjacent. That's my new thing.
Gayish.
Ish.
To say something adjacent is my new favorite thing to do.
Alpha wears chaps on his face for seating.
I bet he does.
Is that, are we not supposed to do that?
Is that not, what?
Gives Ride 'em Cowboy a whole new meaning.
I
doesn't it?
know. I'm like, okay. Okay. Yes, like
I guess
as
it would
I
be
was saying.
cowgirl, excuse me.
Alpha
Right.
has a little tongue.
Okay. We're doing a 1 minute, 60-second speed round for anyone. You have to put your hand up if you want to be a part of said speed round. If not, oh, there's Chad. So if not, and Alpha had his up too. I saw it. And then so we're gonna go Chad, Alpha, Heather, Barbie, me, and no. Oh God, you guys, hands. We'll go. Sorry, that's my dryer. We're gonna start over. Crayon. Remember where your thing is. Crayon, Chad, Alpha, Heather, Barbie, me, and then our host. I hope y'all remembered. And go. And I will be timing. Go.
Savvy, I have my hand up too.
I did not see that, Southern. Okay, you go first. You go before Crayon. Go.
Okay. I'm sorry, my phone died. I won't tell you where I was when it died. But just real quick, when we talk about, I was in the tub. I'm achy all over, so I was
You're
in the
wasting
tub. I can't.
time.
I know, sorry. But the bottom line is, per capita, Chicago has the most murders. It is, unfortunately, it's in the black neighborhoods. They want help. They desperately want help. Why does Pritzker and Mayor Johnson don't want them in there? Simple. Because they clean it up, they look bad. That is the only reason they will look bad. But my concern, if we're cleaning up DC, how is the DAs and stuff managing bail and all those different things? Are they managing it better? I don't have any information on that.
I do not have any information on that either. I'll add that to my list.
Okay, and just one other thing. The murder rates are supposed to be submitted by precincts into the FBI. They brought in a new software about 5 years ago during Biden. Los Angeles, New Orleans, Chicago, and them were not putting in their murder numbers, or they would put in little guesstimates and stuff. So we had no real numbers. That's why Biden always came out and said, "Oh, the crime is down." But also today, we just dropped in population numbers for the first time in the United States, and now Americans have more jobs than what they call foreign born. So things are starting to flip within the job market, and I see that as a plus. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. America is healing. And once you give your 20 or your 60-second, I'm going to drop everyone so I know who's next. Okay. Thank you, Southern. All right. Crayon, your go.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me
Of
up.
course.
Yeah, on the domestic side of everything, I would say I'm living in one of those democratically run Western North Carolina cities, and it is an absolute tragedy with respect to fentanyl and mentally ill people walking around with medical bracelets on from the hospital because they keep losing their IDs. On the international side, I'm just going to circle on back, to what I spoke on earlier on, about the whole no WMDs things. Yeah, it's been something to live with. So I do kind of look to things through that lens, and I would just caution highly, what we get ourselves involved in abroad, and there's got to be some concise evidence as to what's going on, as to why we need to, in any capacity, send Americans to fight and die for anything at this point. I just want to make sure, because I don't want to see another, estimated 1.5 million veterans from the Iraq War, I think, doing that for another conflict that we didn't need to get ourselves involved in. It's not that I'm anti-war. I'm just anti-war that does not act, directly benefit the United States. If we're not directly threatened and we can't actually build, that evidence to get there and directly explain it to the American people and have it be true, then, we need to seriously reconsider, what we get ourselves involved in. And I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Crayon, very much. All right. Chad,
Thank you for
you're up. Your 60 seconds starts now.
Thank you for that. I just want to let everybody know, I'm all about the fight. I love fighting for this country. It's a big thing for me. And I am doing it right now. The lieutenant governor of South Carolina has started to delete my post because I've got her by the giblets and she doesn't like it, which is okay. Some girls don't like it. She doesn't like it specifically because she's terrible. She is a corrupt bitch. And Gunther shared it. A bunch of other people have shared it. This is important to put out there because any of your elected officials that delete anything that you put on their stuff or block you are in fact against the law. That's against your First Amendment. And the more we get this around Twitter, the more it's going to be more fun during midterms when we go out there and pound these idiots that which seems to be a lot of them are quitting anyway. By Joni Ernst, you rhino. So all of that being said, it's in the nest. I put it up there so you can find it easily because I'm not one to share my, I don't care if you share my shit or not, but I like to win. And when we do this is how we win. We let people know that it's illegal. You can see crypto lawyers already gone in there and told her, do you want a lawsuit? And the sort. So get that out there because if we're going to use social media as our way to fight, then we need to make sure people understand how the game is played. And a good way to warn these people with a lawsuit based on First Amendment doesn't look good in a primary. So make sure you put that out there. And remember, focus on what you can change. Pay attention to what you can't. Don't stress what you can't. Focus on what you can because all politics are local. Get out there and get involved. If we do not get numbers going in mad droves during the midterms, we are all going to wake up in a very bad way. If we lose the House or the Senate, and Donald Trump will be impeached. So if you don't want that, find a way to get involved and make sure you get people to the polls. We get everybody to the polls, we win. Bye.
And let's get weird.
And let's get weird with yoga pants and beer.
That's it. Sorry about my dryer. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying.
My dryer does Snoop Dogg.
Oh, really? I love
Pretty
that.
cool.
Okay. Love you. Okay. And Alpha, your go.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Chad's earlier comment and say little tongues matter. And then I'll surrender the rest of my time to Chad if he had anything that he couldn't get to in the first 60
I,
seconds.
I already moved him down. So I'm quick on the draw savvy. Okay. Is that
Then
Alpha?
then I'll take the rest of my 45 seconds to say
Hey, reclaim
that
your time.
I'm gonna reclaim my time and I'm gonna use that time to say Mike Mack is still the prettiest face on the space, but Chad is America's sex symbol.
That is so profound, Alpha. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate your
Hashtag no homo, hashtag a little homo.
Okay.
Doing my best to save the country.
You really are, and proud to know you. Okay. All right, Heather, it's your go.
Crap. Okay, I don't have anything profound to say except for the fact that the United States of America is the dopest country in the world. It is worth fighting for. It is worth taking your time off of this app, getting involved, seeing what is going on. Doing things locally is how you get things done on a larger scale. If your hometown is shit, fix it before you try to, fix the entire country's problems. Uh, so many people forget local and how important that is to your well-being, your children's well-being, their generation's children's well-being. So, get off this app from time to time, get involved in your local community, get involved in a bigger scale, whatever it is, but just be involved. I was thinking earlier today, wondering what our forefathers' political leanings would be, and I just can't fathom that they
I've
would
written a
look.
blog about that recently.
Oh, send
So
it to me.
I will. It's so good.
But I'm not a history buff per se. I look up things that are pertinent to what I am looking at in the real world right now, what's happening. But I just can't imagine our forefathers would look at the Democratic Party of today and be proud of them. So, those 20 something year olds made some pretty monumental documents, decisions, and laid a fantastic blueprint for what a country should look like. And I think to honor that, we fight for our country and we make sure that, if you have kids, you're fighting for your kids and your grandkids. And if you don't have kids, you're fighting for what makes this country great. And we can't ever lose sight of that. And it's a fantastic country. And again, I don't know where my time is. I love you guys. I love you all. Hashtag no homo.
Go ahead, Mike. Undo your thing and go.
Hashtag little homo.
Okay, there it is. Right. Barbie, are you at your microphone?
I am. I was just gonna say that the world is not ending, the sky is not falling, like everything will be fine. All of this like doom and gloom that I see out there on the timeline, it's not real. Like everybody needs to relax. I personally think Trump is doing a great job, but that's just me. But if you don't think he's doing a great job, I'm gonna leave you with one piece of information. This is what it is. If you don't understand that Republicans are not the answer to all your problems, they're not the answer to all your problems. But I promise you, the Democrats are the source of every single problem that you have. We live in a world where we have to pick the lesser of two evils all the time. And the Republican Party is the lesser of two evils. So we don't have a choice. We have to win the midterms. And we have to suck it up. We have to win the midterms because the alternative is going to be so much worse. You are going to pray for the day again when we had a Republican majority and President Trump in the White House. So I'm going to just leave you guys with that.
Thank you, Barbie. I love you so very much. You're so, and the research you do, if y'all, I hope everyone on here has followed her because this girl, man, the research she does is incredible. I mean, I think I am
Clearly, I
good
have a
at
big
it.
loser with a lot of free time.
I think I'm good at it. No, put me on like American history. Absolutely. I could probably give her a run for her money. But anything else, nah. Mm-mm. Can't compute, can't compare.
I would like to specialize in NGOs and money movements and all of these entities that I want to defund and regulate. That's actually
And
my new specialty on here.
I'm going to say something. She is a fantastic author, by the way. Just putting it out there. Just putting, I was on.
Aw, thanks,
It's
Savvy.
true, man. I've read them both, by the way, and they are incredible.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. My 60 seconds, I get a little wordy, so I'll do my very best. If you don't think that your voice matters or that your platform matters, I would like to draw your attention to the governor's race of Virginia. Myself and one other person have been working to expose the Democrat who is running for governor and really putting out the America First policy of Winsome Sears. And since said point, the polls have literally swung 12% within the margin of error. Now we are in single digits, and this is in Virginia. This is huge. So if you don't think your voice matters, you are wrong. Everyone listening to this space, or who will listen because it is recorded in the future, you do have a gift. It may not be a super large platform, right? It may not be, you know, yeah, super bold and out there and in front of people, but you do have a gift and you do have strengths that can be used for good. And we need them. We meaning our party, we meaning our movement. You've heard Barbie and Heather and Alpha and Chad, that we all echo the same thing, and we have for years, to get involved somehow, some way. If you don't want to get involved in your local party, fine, totes fine. But get a candidate, an America First candidate, and give them a call and be like, "Yo, how can I help? Put me to work." You can talk on the phone, you can write postcards, you can knock on doors, shoot, you can even make a delicious morsel, homemade, like what Heather would be, and feed the campaign staff. That goes so far because they're giving it their all too. But these midterms, and please, real quick, and I know I'm over 60 seconds, your state may have special elections this year. Okay, so make sure you look into that because, for instance, in Georgia, we do. In Virginia, there have a governor's race. The election is November 4th, 2025. So look into your state specific races because you may have some that could be very, very, very important, that you could help and you could support. Also, if you haven't already, please follow my beautiful, wonderful cousin, Mike Mack, the host of this space, Insurrection Barbie. Anyone who is or was in the speaker panel, make sure you go check out my cousin's new podcast, Say Something Beyond. It's incredible. And yeah, that's where I'll pass it over to you guys.
Appreciate that, fam. Yeah, and always, guys, and I'm not even joking. Like, if you haven't had a chance to listen to Savvy's interview, it really is cool. And I'm not going to say that she gets a little bit emotional, but she gets a little bit emotional. I just said I wouldn't say that. That was weird. But yeah, so if you get a chance to do that, it's over on Rumble. By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to a couple people in the audience, friends of mine. I see Mrs. Positive down there. Jill Flackney is in the office. She's here working. All kinds of people in here. I see my boy Karabachi. I got there's Carmen. AC Truth is in here. And
Oh, I see. Hi.
yeah, so I just wanted to give, and my girl Kelly,
Dr. Angela.
Kelly J,
Adam.
is it? Dr. Angela.
Oh.
Kelly J's in the house. My girl, appreciate everything
Mhm.
that she does so much. Make sure you give all these people a follow. Good to see you guys. I'm gonna do a little after space after this is over with. So if you guys want to come by and just kind of chill, shoot the breeze a little bit, talk about whatever you want to, we can do that. Subscribers only after space. Shout out to the.
And how much is it, Mike?
It's 99 cents.
It's 99. That is quite the
Yeah,
value.
yeah. It's a gas station taquito. It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, those are so freaking
But
good
not as
too.
good. But not as good as the subscriber after space.
That's right,
the
because
weird
those
thing
are
about it.
unhinged and they are fun. I will be there. I will join you.
There you go. See, so you guys, if y'all want to join us, we'll go over there and we'll talk a little savvy talk. But shout out to the two people that make this happen, Leon and Lajos Horvath, my partners in crime with NAG. They mean a great deal to me. We have become very, very close, and their vision of the network and the community. Inside joke. It is that we are all on the same page, and so it's fantastic. I'm just so proud to be a part of it, and I can't explain to you what we're going to be doing moving forward. It's going to be absolutely worth it. So make sure that you scroll down and give them a follow. And Leon will be in here next week as well. Sorry for the glitchy space and hot rod going through the neighborhood there. But yeah, anyway, appreciate you guys coming so much. Barbie and Savvy, thank you guys both for co-hosting. I cannot thank y'all enough. Two very wonderful, beautiful, intelligent, smart human beings that just absolutely steal the show all the time. So I'm very grateful to have you guys. So anyway, that is it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And if you want to join our subscriber only after space, swing over and let's shoot the breeze. And by the way, there's a lot of people in here: Heather, Alpha, Chad. Guys, y'all are going to be on the podcast too. So make sure that we get together and set that up. So
You got some big shoes to fill there, guys.
big such big shoes. I
Big
don't understand.
shoes to
What you
fill.
think of it. Quite frankly, no shoes can fill it. It's incredible. Yeah, so we'll be over there. This goodbye has been too long. Thanks for coming out, guys,
Yep.
and we will see y'all very, very soon.
Trump 2028. Bye.